sixth. Hitting seventh, the DH, Alonzo Reyes, who had a big 2-run home run in Game 1. Batting eighth, doing the catching, Blake Penso. And hitting ninth, playing left field, Frankie Carney. Finnegan Wall, no record on the year. Finnegan coming off Tommy John surgery, and has really gotten better in the last month. Looked much more like the Finnegan Wall of 2023. Finn, in his 14th game, his 7th start, has worked 28 and a third innings, allowed 31 hits, 21 earned runs, walks a batter every 2 innings, walking 14, struck out 26. The opposition hitting .282 against him. Bruins in their home whites, even though they are the visitors, with Bruin blue and gold trim, numerals and trim. And Finnegan Wall, the first pitch of Game 2, in and over, strike one to start the game. Wall with that high leg kick back, in and over again. Pretty good fastball, 0-2 to Dean West. Dean West, Rock Chalosky, and Levu for UCLA. Wall working first base side of the rubber, breaking ball hit up the middle, and a base hit. So they had West go Finn with 2 good fastballs, threw the breaking ball, and West was waiting for it, middle of the plate, and bangs it up the middle. A leadoff single. Here is Rock Chalosky. Mark Roberts with Alex Roberts-Croto. Alex will be with you in just a moment, right here to my left. Chalosky, what a player and what a year. Maybe the best player in the country. Time is called here. Quickly, is there some adjustment to something? I'm not certain. Well, we have a moment. Let's go over our umpires. Home plate umpire Brian Miller, Kyle Nickel at first base, Manny Gonzalez, your second base umpire, and Tim Russo at third. Wall from the stretch, 6-2 right-hander's pitch to Chalosky, fouled first base side, and out of play 0-1. Rock hitting .370 on the year. Chalosky, 19 doubles, 23 home runs, 70 RBIs, and a good defender at a prime defensive position, shortstop. Just a sophomore. Next one popped up foul, coming back Penso, and this is going to land near us. Thought it might got our canopy up here.
Somebody directly behind us made the catch, so good for them.
Yeah, well, he certainly didn't have a competition with me over that. 0-2. Chalosky has done everything for the Bruins. Wall, experienced right-hander, fastball, high, ball one. Finnegan went to Sultana High School, hometown of Hesperia. Wall 6-2. A 5-pitch miss.
Get on top of it.
Pretty good fastball.
No score here in the top of the first. In the LA Regional Final, UC Irvine trying to force a decisive Game 7 tomorrow. Fastball upstairs, 1 ball and 2 strikes. UCLA just needs 1 win. They can wrap up the regional and advance to the Supers by getting it done here tonight. 1-2 to Rock Chalosky. That crouched open stance from the right side. Wall comes home. Fastball lined into left center field, base hit. Skipping its way into Carney. West, a wide turn at second. He will throw on the brakes. But so far, so good for this UCLA offense that now has 36 hits in the regional. They go back-to-back here to start. First and second, nobody out.
Yeah, 2 for 2. Another good cut by Chalosky. And Finnegan Wall on the mound, we talked about, he's got that 5-pitch mix. But to Chalosky right there, a fastball, slider, and just alternating between those 2 pitches. That fastball hovers around 90 miles an hour, so it's not going to really beat you in velo. He's got to beat you with his location. But this time, all those pitches left up in the zone.
Wall coming off a strong effort against Cal Poly in the Big West Championship game. He gave them length, 6 innings, allowing 4 runs, a solid effort, and the best he has looked all season. Trying to capture that here tonight as he misses outside to Levu for ball 1. Levu having a nice weekend, 4 for 10 so far in the regional with 7 runs batted in. 1-0 pitch. Down and in. Cutter forcing the catcher, Blake Penso, to lean down and to his right.
Yeah, just immediate stress pitches here. I mean, you've got a runner in scoring position, and he's going to need at least 3 of those pitches going to be successful.
2 on, nobody out, top of the first. UCLA at the plate. And there's a bouncing ball right of second, fielded by Bermudez. Flips to Yeaman at second for 1, on to first. It's a double play as West advances to third, but a huge 4-6-3 double play induced by Finnegan Wall. So a runner on third and 2 outs. It's up to Roman Martin to make something of this first inning.
Yeah, he's got a chance to drive in that runner Dean West at third now, but just in 10 pitches, 2 outs, and that just wipes away, to your point, those 2 first singles there that UCLA had with their first 2 batters.
Roman Martin has had an exceptional regional, 5 for 11 with a couple of home runs. As he takes down and in, blocked by Penso, it rolls all the way back onto the infield grass, and Wall will be the one to pick it up.
Now, one thing about Finnegan Wall here, right-handed pitcher, but he's got that 3/4 release, so that slider, it's got a lot of lateral movement away from Roman Martin, the right-handed hitter in the batter's box. So it's tough behind the plate for Blake Penso to get his body in front of that off-speed pitch in the dirt, but a good job.
Martin with that grand slam yesterday to punctuate a 7-run second as UCLA beat ASU. And now there's a bouncing ball up the middle. It's through. That'll score Dean West, and UCLA takes a 1-0 lead in the first inning. Roman Martin driving in his 8th run of the weekend.
I mean, even just yesterday alone, that grand slam he had to right center field, he keeps it going here. This time he got a fastball down at the knees, just a worm burner up the middle, made it look easy. UCLA on the board yet again early on, and the first team to get on the board in all these 3 games they've played so far this weekend.
Now that 7-run second inning yesterday against Arizona State. Had 4 runs in the first inning on Friday afternoon against Fresno State. And a 1-0 lead here against UC Irvine. Fastball in there for a called strike on the inner half to A.J. Salgado. So 3 singles in this first inning for the Bruins. Got that ground ball double play, helping to limit the damage to this point. 1 on, 2 out. Pitch outside on the corner for a called strike 2. It looked like he got that slider through the back door.
Yeah, good pitch on the outside part. Good 2-strike count now. 2 outs, 1 pitch away, and can get that force out at second base as well.
Salgado looking to protect. The left-handed hitter waits as Wall comes set. Holding at his chest, he throws and struck him out swinging. Blew the fastball right by him, and that'll end the inning. But UCLA plates a run on 3 hits, and they leave 1 aboard to take an early 1-0 lead after the top of the first. And we can update you, it is a final in Austin, Texas. UTSA has won the Austin Regional. They beat the 2-seed Texas Longhorns. So the winner of this regional here in Los Angeles will host UTSA next weekend in the Super Regional round. That is what is at stake tonight. UC Irvine needs a win tonight, set up a decisive Game 7 tomorrow. Bruins need just 1 win.
And what a big win by UTSA there. I mean, look, the Longhorns always a mainstay in college baseball. But of course, these players on the field maybe haven't heard just yet of that final score of 7-4 for UTSA, but once they do, certainly even more intensity to get it done tonight.
So Wyland Moss toes the rubber for UCLA. Real quick, though, let's give you the UC Irvine starting lineup. The Anteaters at 43 and 16. Will Bermudez leads off and plays second base. Chase Call, the right fielder, hits second. Batting third in center field, Jacob McCombs. Then hitting cleanup at first base, Anthony Martinez. Colin Yeaman is the shortstop, hitting in the 5 spot. James Castanola plays at third base, hitting 6th. Batting 7th, the DH once more for the Anteaters is Alonzo Reyes. Blake Penso will catch once again. He's hitting in the 8th spot. And Frankie Carney, the left fielder, rounds out the order. And they will go against the freshman right-hander Wyland Moss. Moss been a little banged up over the last month and a half or so. He did return for the first time in a little while in the Big Ten championship game last week against Nebraska. Looked very good in that effort. Retired the first 10 batters he has faced. Total numbers on the year as he makes his 17th appearance and 9th start. He's got a 2.25 ERA and a 2-1 record. In 44 innings, he's got 45 strikeouts against just 12 walks, and he's holding teams to a 2.39 average. And so for UCLA that has had their whole pitching staff set up to get to this game, everybody fresh, Moss with the opportunity to set the tone.
Yeah, and arguably their most dynamic pitcher on this staff, as you mentioned, shuffling between the relief role, the closer role, and now obviously starting some games, certainly a big one right here. In terms of his stuff, you're going to see a fastball slider change combo from him. That fastball, you can get it all the way up to 96 miles per hour easily. And we'll see what he can do tonight. Temperatures are a little bit cold. It's 66 degrees right now in the bottom of the first, and we'll see what he's got in the tank.
A gentle breeze coming off the third base side, but not much wind to speak of as Will Bermudez, a switch hitter from the left side, settles in. And Wyland Moss kicks and throws, and that fastball is in there on the outside corner, strike one.
Yeah, Moss on the mound, 6'3", and he's only a freshman, too. To think about the poise and certainly the control he has on the mound. Only 12 walks and about 45 innings pitched, as you mentioned.
Holding that glove over his face as he looks home. Now into his motion. And his 0-1 pitch is a slider in there for strike two. Will Bermudez, a redshirt senior. Honorable mention All Big West this year. And he's been hitting well over the last month, so don't get fooled by that 280 batting average. 3 home runs and a 42 driven in. Moss ahead 0-2. Out of the windup, he deals. Fastball down and in. 1 ball and 2 strikes as UCLA leads 1-0 here in the last of the first. Your umpires tonight, Brian Miller calling balls and strikes. Kyle Nickel at first. Manny Gonzalez is at second. And Tim Russo is at third. Bermudez waiting on a 1-2. Moss with that exaggerated motion now throws, and he struck him out swinging. Breaking ball on the outside, and Wyland Moss with an electric start.
Making it look easy, as you mentioned, just alternated between fastball, slider, fastball, then a slider to put him away on that 1-2 count. That's a good way to set the tone on the mound for Moss and for just Bruins defense.
So now it will be a familiar face. Chase Call, the older brother of Phoenix Call, is the batter for UC Irvine. He is a senior to Phoenix being a sophomore. Now they are looking right at each other as Chase looks towards the mound. Phoenix right behind Wyland Moss in his line of vision. First pitch yanks it foul on the ground toward that UCLA dugout on the third base side for strike one.
Yeah, not too out of the ordinary to see all these over shifts in the college game. Certainly UCLA employs it almost with every hitter. And so here, as you mentioned, Phoenix Call behind second. Chalowski, the shortstop, deep in the hole, and Roman Martin down the line.
0-1. Moss's pitch. Fastball fouled straight back into the screen. And once again, Moss ahead, 0-2 against Chase Call, who's got plenty of power in that bat. Just had a 2-home run game against Arizona State earlier today. He is the all-time home run leader in UC Irvine history. Behind 0-2. Moss with a real deliberate pace here. And he just missed the outside corner with the slider. Sweeping across, and Call lays off.
Very close pitch on the outside. Good frame behind the plate by Cash Duggar. That's the Bruins catcher tonight.
Outfield deep and shaded to pull against a right-handed hitter as well. 1-2, struck him out swinging. Back to the slider. And it's back-to-back strikeouts for Wyland Moss to start the evening.
4-pitch strikeout to start the game, and now another 4-pitch K. Stuck with the off-speed, really, that whole at-bat. Just one fastball on that 0-1 count. Wyland Moss looking good here, just 8 pitches thrown.
Dealing with another power bat now in Jacob McCombs. He is the home run leader this year for UC Irvine, 13 of them, and he hits from the left side of the plate. 1-0 UCLA, bottom one. Bases clear, 2 outs. And he fouls off the first pitch. out of play on the left-hand side. McCombs hitting .356 on the season and has driven in 54 runs. First team all-conference this year as he transferred in from San Diego State. Waving that bat back and forth above his head. And now the 0-1 from Moss is another foul to the left side. And once again, 3 consecutive batters that Wyland Moss has started 0-2.
Yeah, and he's just really being aggressive with the fastball. I mean, these are good pitches, maybe on the outside part of the plate. But these Irvine hitters, they've been behind on every single one of these fastballs.
Moss looking for a quick start here in the first. The 0-2. Struck him out swinging. Back to the slider, and Wyland Moss lets out a roar as he heads back to the dugout. He strikes out the side to start this regional final. After 1 inning here at Jackie Robinson Stadium, it's UCLA 1, UC Irvine nothing. We start the second inning here in Los Angeles. UCLA with a 1-0 lead on UC Irvine. The winner goes to the Super Regionals. UCLA needs 1 win. UC Irvine must win 2. And to the Bruins' efforts, they've got a run in their pocket already, now taking their second swings against Finnegan Wall. And Peyton Brennan fouls the first pitch on the ground up the first base line for strike 1. Peyton Brennan on an absolute tear over the last couple of weeks, going back to the start of the Big Ten tournament. Over his last 6 games, 12 for 23 with 11 batted in. There's a strike at the knees. That fastball right there on the inner half from Wall. And it's quickly 0-2. We talked about Moss pounding the zone, but Wall has done his part and getting in the zone as well for UC Irvine. Now his 0-2 is a liner into right field, base hit, and headed towards the wall. Chase call hustling, but Peyton Brennan will settle on into second with a leadoff double. Stay hot, Peyton Brennan.
Stay hot indeed. How about that? I mean, look, an 0-2 fastball. Finnegan Wall on the mound. He's been really relying on that fastball, not really using that off speed very much, especially to a hitter as hot as Peyton Brennan. Got in front of that fastball down the right field line all the way to that 330 sign. So now, very quickly, another runner in scoring position. Already 4 hits for the Bruins, and we just started the second inning.
And Peyton Brennan now with 7 hits in this regional. And he's got himself in scoring position now for Blake Baltz, the designated hitter. Now let's see if UCLA perhaps looks to bunt here to advance Brennan over to third. And he does square, and he does put it down on the third base side, but it is foul. Penso, the catcher, running up the line. The 1-2 corral it. Castanola, the third baseman, right on the edge of the infield cut there. So Baltz and then Duggar is on deck. As UCLA has a run of 4 consecutive left-handed bats in the lineup here. 0-1 to Baltz. Wall set, checks on Brennan. Now the pitch home, and that is bunted foul. And hit Baltz on his lead foot while he was still in the box, so he can't put the bunt down. It's now 0-2. It went off his foot and then onto the right side of the infield. So 2 bunts there from Baltz that took some very sharp bounces. Could not put it down cleanly as UCLA have him trying to do it anyway on 0-2.
Yeah, and you might as well. I mean, Wall on the mound, both of those fastballs, he went outside with the first one, then back in with the second one, which got Blake Baltz there on his lead leg.
0-2. Baltz waiting as Wall comes home, and he does show, and he takes the pitch just inside. Another fastball. So Baltz, who had 3 hits on Friday against Fresno State, then went 0 for 4 last night. And UCLA trusting their designated hitter to put one down here with 2 strikes. 1-2 the count with the runner on second and no outs. Baltz squares, and he takes high and away. 2-2. The pressure returns now to Finnegan Wall.
And it looks like that was a cutter on the outside part of the plate, especially with 2 strikes. He's trying to get the K to prevent Baltz from putting that bunt down and getting that runner, Peyton Brennan, to third base.
1-0 UCLA. Bruins at the plate, top of the second. Baltz squares, and now he puts it down right back to Wall. His only play is to first. He underhand flips it. Martinez covering there, secures it to retire Baltz, but the sacrifice is executed. Peyton Brennan over to third with 1 out in the inning.
And something interesting about this so far, Nick, is UCLA 4 hits, great sack bunt down. That was a 5-pitch at bat. Every hitter before that, 4 pitches or less. So UCLA being aggressive early in the count on that fastball.
So now it is Cash Duggar's chance to drive in another run here. Fly ball with decent depth should score the speedy Peyton Brennan. There's a breaking ball from Wall to start the at-bat. Lobs it in there for strike 1.
Yeah, I think that was the first curveball of the game.
Not often you hear of a college pitcher that has 5 pitches at his disposal, but Finnegan Wall does. Now the pitch is a fastball that is shot through the left side, a base hit. That'll score Peyton Brennan, and UCLA has grabbed a 2-0 lead. Boy, the Bruins look like they have picked up right where they left off.
And he's just making it look so easy. I mean, didn't even get great contact on that swing. Duggar, a left-handed hitter, muscled that one to the left side of the infield past Colin Yeaman, the shortstop, in that 5-6 hole. And yet another inning of run production for UCLA. 5 hits now on the game.
Runner on first and 1 out for Phoenix call now. Hitting in the 9 spot as he has for much of the season. And looks at that cut fastball for a called strike over the inside. Call 4 for 8 in the regional. Had a 3-hit game on Friday against Fresno State. Productive yesterday as well. Had a double, put a sac bunt down, was hit by a pitch, and shoots this one the other way in the direction of his older brother, and foul ground. It will land softly for strike number 2. You had Chase converging from right field, Anthony Martinez going back from first. But Phoenix will get to see another pitch.
And talk about the storyline there. They played each other earlier this season here at Jackie Robinson Stadium. Another similar night game, midweek game. Phoenix call, playing his brother Chase call. And how about this, playing in the postseason now at the friendly confines of Jackie Robinson Stadium, at least for Phoenix.
3rd time these teams are meeting this season. Played a couple of midweek games earlier with the home teams winning. Out call, sends one high in the air down the right field line. Chase on the run towards the boundary, just out of his reach as he goes crashing into the wall. That low wall there in the right field corner made contact with the padding right around his abdomen, and Call slow to get up initially, and then he'll actually hop himself over the wall to get the ball that was just out of his reach.
I mean, he went full speed into that wall down the right field line, and We talked about this yesterday on the broadcast. We do have a warning track going down the line, but when you're running at that quick of speed, and especially with the intensity and adrenaline of this game, you're trying to just get that ball, and luckily he seems fine out there.
And he's back to his spot in right field. Still 0-2 to Phoenix. And the pitch. And there's a flare into right field. That drops. Base hit.
Banged himself up on that right field line. This time it was a bloop single to shallow right field. So Phoenix Call able to get to first base, but now Chase Call sprinting all the way in, throwing an absolute missile to third base to James Castagnola, the third baseman for the Anteaters. And a little bit of a hook slide there from Cash Duggar, diving headfirst into the bag and almost sliding past it and able to keep that foot barely on. But the moment that play concluded, you saw Castagnola motion to his head as if we need to challenge this, and it looks like that's exactly what's happening.
No hesitation from Ben Orloff in the dugout. Called for the challenge immediately. As it stands, it's a third hit of the inning. And we're getting a look at the replay now for the first time. Yeah, bare hand throw from Chase Call. One hopped in. And oh boy, Duggar did come off the bag as he overslid it and then got that foot back on the bag almost simultaneously as Castagnola went to tag him.
I mean, look, that throw by Chase Call was absolutely perfect, though. A one-hop strike. Then Castagnola, as he slid, like if Duggar at third base did not slide past the bag there with that little inch of separation, I don't think this would be a question that he was safe. But as we're taking a look at this one more time on our replay.
So there's the initial swipe from Castagnola, and Duggar's hand is on the bag. Then he continues to move. Castagnola is holding his glove up to show the umpire, thinking he got him. But in that time, Duggar has overslid the bag. His foot comes off, and then he goes to put it back. And as he's getting his foot back to the corner of the base, Castagnola is applying a second tag right on his foot. And so can you see from this angle, is there space between the base and his foot when Castagnola is able to make the tag? I'm not sure you can say definitively with that. And it looks like we're going to get the call here momentarily. And the ruling is safe. Plate umpire Brian Miller gives it, and such a very close play. Oh, Castagnola, he doesn't expect Duggar to overslide the bag. If he continued to look at Duggar instead of trying to show the tag to the umpire, he would have been able to get him out with a second tag, but that extra motion looking to the umpire gave Duggar the split second he needed to reestablish his foot on the corner of the base.
I mean, talk about game of inches, right?
So it's back to the top of the lineup now, as that was a jam shot off Phoenix Call's bat that had some really weak sound to it. So Dean West takes outside for ball one. 2-0 UCLA, top of the second, with first and third and one out. Peyton Brennan led off the inning with a double. And after a sac bunt from Baltz, Duggar brought him home. And now Phoenix Call will dart back to first after his bloop single moments ago.
Yeah, Phoenix Call at first base. 2 stolen bases on the year. He's got decent speed being a middle infielder, but quick pitch count check for Finnegan Wall. He's already at 31 pitches, and he's still in the second inning with only 1 out.
Now the 1-0 to West is a curveball just upstairs. 2 balls and no strikes to West, who singled back up the middle and came around to score in the first inning.
And you expect these long, patient at-bats from West in the box. We've seen that throughout the year. Wouldn't be surprised to see him take one more time.
Left-handed hitter waiting on a wall. The pitch, fastball up and in. 3 balls and no strikes. West second on UCLA in on-base percentage. Currently at .464. And trying to keep the pressure on Finnegan Wall and UC Irvine. 3 balls, no strikes. No pitch. Fastball in there. Called strike.
Good pitch, but a 3-0 count. He's got to come in with that fastball. 2 curves, now 2 fastballs. Back to that 3-1 count. can afford to get that double play ball. Middle infield playing back.
3-1 to West. The pitch. Outside, ball 4. Bases are loaded for Rock Chalowski.
And he didn't get that call there from home plate umpire Brian Miller behind the plate. That looked like a fastball, maybe a little bit up and a little bit out of the zone. So now bases loaded for the Bruins, and the heart and soul of this lineup coming up.
Time now called by UC Irvine. They have had Danny Suarez getting loose in the bullpen for the last few minutes now. As Daniel Babona, the pitching coach for UC Irvine, comes on out. Now, him and Ben Orloff have been on the coaching staff for a long time at UC Irvine, and they've created quite a tandem. And, of course, JT Bloodworth has been along for the ride as well over the years as well. That trio, really quality coaching staff that has had UC Irvine regularly, one of the best teams in the West. They won the Big West regular season, lost in the championship game to Cal Poly. That got the Mustangs in the field of 64. But for a while, UC Irvine, they were in the mix to be a host and petered out a little bit in the last month of the season. And the 2 seed here in the LA Regional. Chalowski waiting on the first pitch, and he sends it high in the air towards right center. Chase call into the gap, settling underneath to his left, makes the catch. He's going to throw for third, and Phoenix call in there safely. Ahead of him, Cash Duggar tags and scores from third to make it 3-0 UCLA as Rock Chalowski drives in a run.
And that's RBI number 71 for Rock Chalowski on the season. A productive out, a fastball right down the middle, basically. And hit it out to McCombs, the center fielder who was playing deep. Easy sac fly, easy run.
So Duggar scoring after his RBI single earlier in the inning. Call over to third, and West remains on first. 2 outs now in the inning. Levu grounded into a double play back in the first. Seeing Wall for the second time. And it's a curveball on the outside for a called strike. Penso with an aggressive couple of steps after receiving that pitch, keeping an eye on Phoenix Call, who is dancing down the line over there at third. 0-1 pitch, and Levu grounds it foul up the first base side.
And both off-speed pitches here to Levi Levu. Second time that he's seeing him now, and curveball, then a changeup, but he's been mostly fastball cutter, and UCLA really sitting on that speed, able to take advantage of it.
UCLA in front 3-0. And an 0-2 count with 2 outs to Levu. And the fastball is shot the other way, foul. Levu, the 7th to come to the plate for the Bruins here in the second. And UCLA trying to add to its lead, and a throw to first, close play, but West is back.
And if anything, Wall's just trying to get out of this inning. He only needs to do that with one more pitch. 2 outs in the inning. He's got the 4 set up at second, but almost at 40 pitches so far.
There's the pitch, outside, fastball missing. A ball and 2 strikes to Levu.
And to illustrate that, though, like 24 of his 39 pitches so far have been fastballs. Very minimal use of those 4 other pitches that we talked about that he has in his repertoire. Trying to put him away here with the fastball. Maybe we'll go back to the off-speed.
Middle infield playing it towards the middle. Real estate on the right side for Levu, who grounds it softly on the left side. Castanola from third across the diamond. Fields and throws him out to retire the side. But UCLA scores 2 runs on 3 hits with 2 left on base. And after 1.5, it's UCLA 3, UC Irvine nothing. Last of the second inning coming up in Los Angeles. Nick Cope and Sid Iyer on hand, and plenty on the line tonight. Not just a regional championship, but a chance to host the Supers next week with UTSA knocking off the number 2 overall seed Texas. What a day for the tournament. Not just Texas going down, the number 1 overall seed Vanderbilt out of the tournament as well. A lot of seeded teams and teams hosting regionals having to fight their way through the losers bracket today, and a couple not getting through. Anthony Martinez leads off the last of the second for UC Irvine as Wyland Moss comes inside with a fastball, brushing back Martinez for ball 1. That's the first pitch. Missed the zone to start an at-bat.
Yep.
He struck out the side on 11 pitches in the first inning. Martinez, big left-handed bat, and he plunks it on the ground. That'll get through the right side. Actually, no, Phoenix called it, stab it, and he got him out. Oh, my goodness. Call was 20 feet into shallow right field and knocked the ball down, was able to get back to his feet and throw out Martinez at first base. And Levu, an incredible stretch behind first to get him out.
I mean, he was diagonal with the field. I mean, that was just a Superman full-fledged head-first dive in shallow right field. I mean, talk about range, but that's got to be on the top 10 tonight.
And there's no reason that should not be a base hit. But Phoenix Call, whose defense has improved tremendously throughout the course of the year, makes an incredible play for the first out of the second. And now it is Colin Yeaman taking a pitch inside, a slider there for ball 1. I mean, the jump time out of the crouch there from Call as we get a look at the replay, outstanding. And 2 hops, Levu able to snag it as Moss finds the zone there on the outside against Yeaman. It's 1-1.
And Moss continuing to really paint the zone. 15 pitches, 11 strikes.
Yeaman tied for the team lead with 13 home runs. As the 1-1 from Moss is a fastball fouled to the right side. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Yeaman, who's their number 2 hitter by average at .337 on the year. And so far in this regional, he is 3 for 12 at the plate. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Just outside. Was that a changeup there for Moss? Took something off of it and did not get the call. It's 2-2.
Very good pitch by Moss on the outside part of the plate. Just his 3rd changeup of the night. And he wanted that strike 3. Was about to make the round around the mound there.
So now has to throw a 2-2 pitch to Yeaman. And with the kick and throw, fastball is lined to left field. Base hit. Got it over a leaping Rock Chalowski at short. And there is the first hit of the game and the first base runner for UC Irvine. And it comes from the Big West Field Player of the Year, Colin Yeaman.
Yeah, I mean, coming into the game hitting .337, but that ball was absolutely smoked over Rock Chalowski, who jumped pretty high to try and get that one. And we haven't had a shortage, really, of hard hit balls in this game or just this weekend in general. Irvine certainly has an offense that's ready to explode if they can get the chance.
So Yeaman aboard with 1 out for James Castanola. Right-handed hitter. Takes a slider for a strike. No balls and 1 strike to Castanola, the starting 3rd baseman, who's having a big weekend. He is 4 for 8 with 5 driven in this regional. 0-1 pitch is a soft grounder to short. Chalowski's got it. Toss to Call for 1 around the horn. It's high, but the foot is there on the base from Levu, and they turn 2.
And well done. Taylor made 6-4-3. Continuing to show the leather for UCLA. Phoenix Call making that turn at second and throwing over to Mulavai Levu at first. But also that diving play earlier. Heck of a defensive inning for the Bruins.
So UCLA turns a double play here early. The nation's leader in twin killings. They had 3 of them yesterday, and they get one here to retire the side in the second. On to the third we go, and UCLA on top of UC Irvine, 3-0.
That's why we're proud to partner with the NCAA to spotlight the importance of literacy and the role it plays in education.
Pitching change for UC Irvine, number 14, Danny Suarez, now on the mound. All right, fans, let's take a look at a few more scores. NCAA regional play around the nation this Sunday evening. Final out in Austin, UTSA advancing to the Super Regional, topping Texas 7-4. Out in Clemson, West Virginia topping Kentucky 13-12. West Virginia also advancing to the Super Regional. And in Chapel Hill, we will have a Game 7 Monday night, Game 7 for North Carolina and Oklahoma.
Start of the third inning here in Los Angeles. The regional final, UCLA and UC Irvine. First time that they are meeting in this regional. UCLA knocking off Fresno State 19-4 on Friday afternoon. Came back yesterday with an 11-5 win over Arizona State to put themselves in this game. UC Irvine lost to ASU on Friday night, so they've been fighting through the losers bracket ever since. Beat Fresno State on Saturday, and then before this game, at a 3 o'clock start time, they beat Arizona State and got themselves here into the regional final. They need to win tonight to force a decisive Game 7 tomorrow. And they go to the bullpen, do the Anteaters here. So just 2 innings for Finnegan Wall. And now it is Danny Suarez, the redshirt junior right-hander, who is now on the mound for UC Irvine. Get you his numbers in a moment as Roman Martin settles in and takes a fastball for a strike on the outside. For Suarez, it is his 16th appearance. He also has 5 starts this year. He's got a 10.36 ERA and 28 2/3. 41 strikeouts, over 27 walks. And teams are hitting .311 against him as he misses down and away to Roman Martin, 1-1.
And Suarez on the mound, 6'3", 210 pounds, from Trabuco Canyon, California. He's got an overhand delivery, that fastball and that slider.
And drops one in on the outside against Martin to get the count to 1-2. Suarez has pitched twice already against UCLA this season in those midweek games. And across those 2 appearances, he went 3 1/3 scoreless against UCLA. Breaking ball spiked well in front of the plate to get the count to 2-2 strikes. And in fact, in late April, when the teams met down in Irvine, Suarez 2 1/3 scoreless with 5 strikeouts. So despite the numbers that look like it's been a tough year for him, he has seen this lineup before and fared well against them. 2-2 to Martin. Shot high in the air to center field. McCombs a couple paces in and to his left makes the catch. So after UCLA got the leadoff man aboard in each of the first 2 innings, Martin is retired to begin the third.
And just to close the loop on Finnegan Wall, went 2 innings, 6 hits, 3 earned runs through 40 pitches, and was in the zone actually quite a bit and was able to get ahead of hitters on first pitches, but he just got hit. Those 6 hits proved deadly.
He had 1 strikeout, did Wall. That came against A.J. Salgado, who now looks at the first pitch from Suarez, a bouncing breaking ball for ball one. Salgado now 3 for 8 in the regional. He's drawn 3 walks as well. And the pitch is hit high in the air to right center field and hit well. Back at the track, at the wall, and it is. Is it caught? Yes, it is. Finally got the signal. McCombs tracks it down on the warning track at the wall. He went tumbling down, and as he was falling, made the catch.
I mean, especially with the lighting here at night, it's easy for that ball to get lost up in, well, the lights here at Jackie Robinson Stadium. And Salgado put a good ride on this, a moonshot to right center field just in front of the UCLA health sign. It looks like he stumbled like a foot in front of the wall on the warning track.
He nearly overran it and made one corrective step at the end that forced him to lose his balance, but he kept the glove up and made the catch. So 2 outs now as Peyton Brennan takes a pitch low for ball one.
Really both teams flexing the leather here tonight in this game.
1-0 to Brennan, down and in. 2 balls and no strikes. Salgado just missed it.
Yeah, and I mean, even the wind is really steady. No real discernible wind. And typically, if you see wind here at the stadium, it moves out towards right center field. Had enough lift on it, but just didn't catch that breeze.
Now Brennan takes a pitch outside, a fastball missing the corner. And Peyton Brennan is ahead, 3 balls and no strikes. He doubled to lead off the second. And is continuing his stellar play over the last couple of weeks. And that's down and in, ball 4. Brennan is aboard on 4 pitches.
And that's kind of be a concern for Suarez here. That's another walk, but he's had a walk in at least every game he's pitched his last 7 appearances. And just on general in the season, you talked about his stats. 28 innings pitched and over a walk per inning pitched. And so we'll see here, he's out of the stretch now, 2 outs. Just needs to get 1 more out to get out of the inning, and we'll see what his strategy here is against the lefty hitter.
Suarez has had strikeout stuff all season, but the walks have been an issue. And he allows Blake Baltz to hit with Brennan on first. And that is shot well in the air to center field, but is falling quickly now for McCombs. And he makes the catch, drifting back and to his right. All 3 outs in the inning recorded by the Big West Field Player of the Year. 1 left aboard for UCLA after 2.5 at Jackie Robinson Stadium. It's UCLA 3, UC Irvine 0. UCLA leads UC Irvine 3-0 here on the LA Regional. The winner will host the Supers against UTSA. The Roadrunners knocking number 2 Texas out of the tournament. And so UTSA will come west next weekend. Who will they play, the Bruins or the Anteaters? Last of the third, Reyes, Penso, and Carney due up for UCI against Wyland Moss. And the freshman right-hander hits a first pitch fastball for a called strike on the outside.
And
So Moss surrendering the one hit, but he has faced the minimum so far through the first 2 innings on just 20 pitches.
Yeah, and 17 strikes as well. Very efficient, very aggressive in the zone.
Reyes, the DH, a left-handed bat for UC Irvine. And he takes a fastball coming inside this time. That's a called strike. And the count to 0-2.
That's kind of what you expect to see from Moss. Great control, and he leverages that slider to augment that fastball.
Alonzo Reyes from Inglewood, went to nearby Culver City High School. And on the 0-2, he smacks it high in the air to left center. Brennan into the gap from center, looks up into the night sky and makes the catch. One away in the third.
And to illustrate how efficient Moss has been, there has not been a batter he's faced yet that has gone over 4 pitches in and at bat. Moss, a pretty tall guy on the mound, and has a mid to high 3/4 release, so he's got good movement on that slider and natural tail on that fastball in towards righties.
Now facing the big right-handed hitting catcher for UC Irvine, Blake Penso. First offering is in there, a slider through the front door, strike one. Penso catching both legs of this doubleheader today for UC Irvine. Big guy at 6'3", 225, not your traditional squattier catcher. Crouched open stance, and he grounds it foul up the third base line. And he falls behind 0-2 against Wyland Moss, who has handled everything that has been thrown at him this season, pitching in a closing role, a Tuesday starting role, a Friday starting role, and how about a regional final starting role now here tonight, all as a freshman. Into his windup for the 0-2, and the fastball is elevated off the outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And I think that's the best part about him. Yeah, talent is obviously there, that physical ability to chuck the baseball on the mound, but that mental fortitude to be able to switch roles and show up when your team needs you. UCLA's got a star in their hands.
Ahead 1-2 against Penso. The pitch. And that's another throwaway. Fastball high and outside. An easy take there for Penso to even the count 2-2.
And it kind of feels like the whole team is just full of stars in that regard. Again, 3/4 of this roster are sophomores. So basically the same squad will be here next year.
Penso just 1 for 11 in the regional. And he looks at a bouncer from Moss. So his first 3-ball count of the night. And really these last 2 pitches were the first pitches that have not been close. Easy takes for Penso to run the count full.
Yeah, it was a changeup there. He flew open a little bit on that front shoulder. He's got to get back in the zone here, full count.
But the base is clear and 1 out in the third, and the Bruins in front 3-0. Moss deals, and it's fouled high off the screen, straight back behind home plate. And Penso will see 1 more.
And we talked about his pitch makeup, basically a fastball slider guy, and occasionally that changeup. Of the 30 pitchers or so he's thrown, only 4 changeups so far.
Penso, a senior out of Huntington Beach, playing in a starting role for the first time this season. And another 3-2 pitch is grounded foul, just wide of third. Some solid contact there on the thinner part of the bat from Penso, but good pace off the bat there to hang in there. As Moss tries to figure out this UC Irvine catcher, which was named first team All Big West this year. 3 balls and 2 strikes. And Moss's pitch is another foul ball. A cue shot just wide of first as Moss came on the inside.
And that's pitch number 9, by far the longest AB for Wyland Moss. Gets this Irvine lineup in a 3-2 count, 3 straight with a full count. Tried to put him away with the fastball, then the slider, then back to the fastball on that last one.
Moss goes into his motion, and the 10th pitch of the at-bat is another foul off to the right side.
Little battle brewing. And that's exactly what you want to do if you're in Irvine's dugout. Just let Wyland Moss get a little bit unsteady if you can make him, at least mentally.
He recorded 7 outs on 23 pitches. Now he's trying to get out number 8 on what is the 11th pitch of the at-bat, and the fastball, boy, just missed, and I'm not sure where. Perhaps a bit outside. But Penso is aboard, working a walk after an 11-pitch battle.
Yeah, that was a very close pitch. Home plate umpire Brian Miller not giving the call on that fastball on the outside part of the plate to that right-handed hitter in Penso, excuse me. And so that's the first walk for Moss in the game. Irvine, they've got something to work with here with 1 out.
And getting a second look at that one on the replay, it did look a little bit low. Duggar doing his best to frame it, so say Brian Miller probably got that call right in the end. 1 on, 1 out for the 9th place hitter, Frankie Carney, and there is strike 1 on the inner half. Carney, the left-handed hitting left fielder for UC Irvine. Hitting .337 this year, no home runs, 22 batted in. And swings through an elevated slider for strike 2. That one was coming in towards his shoulder, and he still swung away.
Yeah, a bit of a gift pitch and maybe a hanging pitch there by Wyland Moss on the mound. Doesn't have to worry about Penso on first base. Penso is the catcher, no stolen bases to his ledger this season.
Carney just had 3 hits today against Arizona State as he takes the slider down and in. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Carney has been very effective at the bottom of the lineup for UC Irvine. 9 hits in the regional. Middle infield, double play depth and shaded to the pull side against the lefty hitter. 1-2 pitch from Moss is grounded to the left side, backhanded by Chalowski. Throws to Call at second for 1, on to first, not in time. As that ground ball somewhat beat the shift in that it forced those middle infielders to have to cover more ground that they were situated for. And so they get Penso retired, trying to advance to second base. Now 2 outs as Carney stands on first on the fielder's choice.
Yeah, that ground ball to shortstop to Rock Chalowski had to force him to his backhand, and so Phoenix Call had to make the sprint over to the bag at second base. Took a extra beat there. Pretty good quick turn, but not enough to get the double kill.
Yeah, UCLA's defense was set up wanting to induce a 4-6-3 double play, while that ball in play was asking a 6-4-3 variety. Back to the top of the lineup in Will Bermudez, as there's a quick throw over to Carney, who's got a couple of stolen bases this year. UC Irvine is not aggressive when it comes to stealing bases. And a modest lead over there from Carney as Bermudez waits on the first pitch. And he lines it foul down the left field line and out of play.
One thing to note about Irvine, despite the fact that they're not that aggressive on the base paths, Wyland Moss to the plate is about 1.4 to 1.45, which is relatively slow for a starting pitcher. So they do have the opportunity to run on him if that opportunity arises.
0-1 to Bermudez as a check on Carney. He's back there getting that right hand on the base. So second time through the order now for UC Irvine. Bermudez struck out swinging against Moss in the first when Wyland struck out the side. No strikeouts since that point. And there's a pitch out, throw back to first. That one hops into the glove of Levu, and he does well just to keep that ball in his possession. And back safely is Carney as well.
And Levu made that scoop look easy. And that pitch out, if it was on target, they had a good shot at possibly nabbing Carney at first base.
So it's 1-1 to Bermudez, the left-handed hitter at the plate. And the pitch in there, called strike, fastball at the belt.
Good velocity on that pitch as well. And he'll get it up there in terms of velocity, but feeling like he's got a live arm on a relatively cold night here in LA.
And temperatures in the 60s as UCLA leads 3-0 last of the third. Moss kicks and throws, and it hit him. Did he lean in? I thought he leaned in, but they're going to give him first base, and John Savage immediately out of the dugout. UC Irvine has long been one of the top teams in the nation when it comes to getting hit by a pitch, but Bermudez certainly looked like he leaned into that one.
Yeah, I mean, there might be some truth to that. If that hit by pitch stands, that would be number 19 of the season for him.
Yeah, and Bermudez, he's been hit by a pitch now 65 times across 3 seasons with UC Irvine. He is third among active Division I players in getting hit by a pitch, trying to get one there and get a free base.
Yeah, I mean, that's an unreal stat, though, to be hit 65 times.
He's not the only one. This is what UC Irvine does.
Yeah.
They get hit like nobody else.
Let me take a look at that pitch. Looked like a changeup, 84 miles per hour. And it was on the inside part of the plate. And he's got an elbow guard. He's a left-handed hitter, so the elbow guard is on his right elbow. So he turned his back to perhaps, get to where that ball. But the question is whether he leaned into it, and that elbow dropped.
He's dropping that elbow, looking to take the pitch. I getting a look at the replay. There's no question in my mind that he was starting to turn, but he kept his eyes forward as that pitch started to run away from him. And he throws his elbow down in the way of the baseball.
Yeah, I think that one's pretty clear.
And you'll see umpires use discretion if it's a normal batting motion. That is not a getting ready to swing motion. That bat did not move. His lead arm dropped. And so this replay, as all replays in the tournament, not done on site, they're done at a centralized location. So the umpires are not ultimately making this call. The centralized replay booth is. This should be strike 3.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it should be. And Brian Miller was the home plate umpire who made that call. He's got the headset on to talk to that centralized location to get the final verdict. But John Savage immediately came out of the dugout to challenge that one, and it looks like they're about ready to make their decision heard.
UCLA up 3-0, last of the third. With the call on the field, it's first and second, 2 outs, but now here's the call. He leaned into it, and he's out. And so that'll end the inning. The call overturned. Will Bermudez, who has had a knack for getting hit by pitches over the years. You start to see why a little bit with what he did there on that sequence. On a 1-2 pitch, it goes as strike 3, and the side is retired. We go to the 4th inning in Los Angeles. UCLA 3, UC Irvine nothing.
Enjoy the comfort of knowing tickets are authentic and 100% guaranteed. For more information, visit ncaa.com/exchange. Here we go, top of the 4th. Leading up for UCLA.
To the 4th inning we go here at Jackie Robinson Stadium in Los Angeles. UCLA in front of UC Irvine 3-0 here in the regional final. Cash Duggar, Phoenix Call, and Dean West due up for the Bruins as Danny Suarez, the right-hander, continues for the Anteaters. And the first pitch fastball is a little bit low towards that outside corner. Pretty good velocity there from Suarez, but just missed as Duggar hits for the second time. He is 1 for 1 with an RBI single in the second. And there's a called strike on the inside. 1-1. So Suarez with a 2-out walk in the third, but otherwise able to induce 3 flyouts from UCLA. And there's another pitch on the inner half that catches the zone. It's 1-2. Suarez looks to be right around 90 miles per hour with these fastballs. UCLA with their 3 runs on 6 hits. Curveball down low. Try to get to the outside corner and get Duggar to potentially chase there. 2-2.
Yeah, very good pitch. Good chase. Not enough for Cash Duggar to to bite.
2-2. Fastball inside. And Duggar thought that was coming further in. He turned away from it. It looked like there was a little bit of arm side run taking that back towards the plate. But now the count is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes as Duggar leads off the 4th. Suarez's pitch, high and away, ball 4. That's a tough break there for Danny Suarez, ahead in the count. And then could not give anything enticing to Cash Duggar, and it's a leadoff walk.
Yeah, it was a 6-pitch at bat, primarily fastballs. That one curveball on 1 and 2 to try and put him away. Couldn't get it in the zone, and that fastball was way out and up. So yet another leadoff runner for UCLA, trying to get back in that run column. They've been quiet since the 2nd inning.
So here's Phoenix Call. He has also singled tonight. 1 on, nobody out for him. And the pitch is off the outside for ball 1. So what has led UCLA to such success this weekend is how this bottom of the lineup has fared, especially Phoenix Call. It's 5 for 9 on the weekend. And there's a bouncer that gets through the 5-hole of Penso all the way to the backstop, and 90 feet for Cash Duggar, who is now in scoring position.
Yeah, curveball in the dirt, trying to get him to bite on 1 and 0, but Blake Penso, you said it correctly, right through the 5-hole. It was actually a pretty good curveball, a 12-6 movement, but sometimes the spin with the 12-6, it'll stay down. So if you don't stay down as a catcher, it'll get right past you, and that's exactly what happened.
Meanwhile, Call is ahead, 2 balls and no strikes. He squares and takes a high fastball. Had to spin out of the way of that one, and it's 3-0.
That was a very high fastball. The combination of that 12-6 back to that high fastball to change the eye level, but not fooling him here. And he's got to give, but he does have the base open if he wants to give him the free pass.
3-0, Call squares, and he takes high. Ball 4. Back-to-back walks issued by Suarez. And now the top of the lineup coming to the plate.
And that's walk number 3 for Suarez. He's only pitched 1 inning at this point, and we talked about his numbers throughout the season where he had over a walk an inning, and it looks like a quick little conference for the infield as all 5 infielders are going to head to the mound to chat with their pitcher. Does appear to be some activity in the bullpen. This is not a mound visit, so the coaches are still in the dugout, but it appears that there is some activity in the Irvine pen should this inning get out of hand for the Anteaters.
That is David Butler, a right-hander who has just started to get loose for UC Irvine. Meanwhile, behind home plate in the front row is Mr. Call, Phoenix and Chase's father. He's got 2 hats on. Right now, he's got the UCLA hat stacked on top of the UC Irvine hat.
I mean, that's got to be a decision when one wins and one loses. You got to play both sides of it as dad.
Chase is due up to lead off the last of the 4th, so I assume he's going to then switch those hats around as Dean West puts a bunt down on the third base side, and falling down is Suarez as he fields it, and everybody is safe. Bases loaded, nobody out in the 4th.
And a beautiful bunt put down by Dean West, and honestly was not a drag bunt. Looked like a sac bunt, squared early, and the pitcher, Suarez, went to go collect the ball down the third base line. As he picked it up, slipped with his right leg. So you hope he's okay. He seems fine on the mound, so no concern there. But no outs, bases loaded for a roaring UCLA offense.
You see it time and time again here. There's not much of a marine layer, but just the moisture gets on this field, and pitchers wipe out all the time trying to field bunts, as Rock Chalowski takes ball 1 on a pitch high and away. Chalowski hitting an even .400 this season with the bases loaded, has a sac fly and a single so far tonight. And he yanks the pitch on the ground, foul. Oh, a ball and a strike as this inning has started with a pair of walks and a bunt single. And UCLA with a chance to crack it open, leading 3-0. And one of the best players in the nation at the plate. 1-1. Fastball is shot high in the air, down the left field line, hooking towards the corner, underneath, making the catch, Carney up against the boundary. Tagging and scoring is Duggar. And so another productive out from Rock Chalowski, his second sac fly of the night. And it's now 4-0 UCLA.
Oh my gosh, he just missed home run number 24. And the Big Ten Player of the Year just missed a grand slam. That one went 329 feet down the left field line, and it's 330 down to that foul pole. That marine layer perhaps bringing it back in, but a run nonetheless. Rock Chalowski clapping his hands, excited about the fact that he got that run in.
So Chalowski and Salgado have just missed home runs here tonight. And Carney was settled under that thing for a long time at the wall. As there's a curveball upstairs to Levu, ball one. So first and second with the one out now. And UCLA now leading 4-0.
And Suarez on the mound has gone to that curveball 8 times, has only thrown it a quarter of those 8 for strikes.
Here's the pitch. Fastball fouled straight back and out of play. Levu with a couple of ground outs, including one into a double play. And you can see there is a little bit of wind. We can see on the TV broadcast that there was a little bit of wind in that marine layer that was pushing it back into the field of play just a little bit. 1-1 pitch. And that is shot well into left center field. McCombs on the run towards the gap. It is gone! A 3-run shot for Levi Levu. And UCLA has opened up a 7-0 lead.
And this Bruin offense keeps going. Levi Levu, I mean, that was a curveball on the outside part of the plate. He says, I'll take it, Oppo Taco, and takes it to that 370 down in left center field. And so that, just like in the previous 2 games that UCLA has played, UCLA getting off to a pretty quick start early on, a 7-0 lead. We're still in the 4th inning. Levi Levu, as he rounded the bases as well, he pointed to his dugout, and he was ecstatic about the fact that he just gave him a bunch of runs right there.
Right at the 5th palm tree there at the 370 mark, he clears the wall. And right as we were talking about A.J. Salgado and Rock Chalowski just missing home runs, Levi Levu did not miss, and UCLA's offense continues to shine. This is now 37 runs over the course of 2+ games from this offense. And with a super regional hosting bid on the line, they have come to play tonight.
Yeah, and they're really delivering. And it was pretty hot earlier this weekend, and the weather has definitely cooled down for this night game, but some of the stats on that home run, Levi Levu hit that ball 103 miles per hour off the bat, projected distance 389 feet. And that was enough for Orloff, the head coach for the Irvine Anteaters, to pull Suarez out of the game. And we got a pitching change.
It will be another right-hander, David Butler, to pitch for UC Irvine. The Anteaters already winning 2 games through the losers bracket to get to this one. But they've got their work cut out for them now, as UCLA's offense has already tallied 7 runs on 8 hits. And there's still just 1 out here in the 4th inning. Roman Martin will be the batter when we get back to action, as David Butler goes through his warm-up pitches. A senior right-hander out of Riverside at 6'1", 185 pounds. He began his college career at Riverside City College, now in his 2nd year with UC Irvine, and he's gotten a lot of work this season, already his 30th appearance. He is 2-3 with a .493 earned run average across 38 innings. He's got 35 strikeouts, but also 25 walks. And teams are hitting .252 against him. Yeah. This will be a different look, though, for these UCLA batters with this near sidearm release from Butler.
Yeah, and he's got good height, but when you throw sidearm like that, what does it mean? Lot of lateral movement on your pitches in both directions. That fastball is going to tail in towards right-handed hitters, away from lefties. And that slider, you're going to see some pretty extravagant movement in the opposite direction. But we talked about this earlier at the start of the game. It's really a game of attrition for this Irvine staff. Remember, they played a game just before this today.
Yeah, that game against ASU in the losers bracket started at 3 o'clock, wrapped up right around 6:30, 6:40, and then this game started at 8 o'clock. Pitch down and in to Roman Martin with that fastball. 1 ball and no strikes. Martin 1 for 2 with an RBI single back in the first inning. Now the pitch. And there's a called strike. Another fastball there on the outside corner.
2 fastballs there straight on the inside part of the plate to Martin. And the infield shifted over for the pull.
1-1. Another fastball. That's in there over the inner half. 1-2. And despite the sidearm delivery, pretty good zip. He's being clocked right now at 93 miles an hour.
It's pretty good on a cold night. Well, cold night by LA standards, at least.
Yeah, the wind has died down. It's very comfortable right now as that pitch is down low, 2 balls and 2 strikes. It was a little chilly when the game started. The wind was really picking up here on the top of the concourse, but knock on wood, it's pretty still at the moment. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Roman Martin with nobody on and 1 out. Levu just cleared him moments ago. And now Martin taps the ball foul. Wide of third. Still 2-2.
Not sure if that had a little bit of cutting movement on it. But either way, little lateral movement on the outside part of the plate. All of the pitches that Butler has thrown have been on the inside part of the plate, so a little bit of a different look on that last pitch.
UCLA in front 7-0 now in the 4th. And that pitch off the outside, and I think that was the cutter again there, running away from Martin. Full count now. And Butler trying to avoid what would be a 3rd walk issued in this inning. Payoff pitch. Check swing on a fastball. Did he go? No. First base umpire Kyle Nichol says he held up. And it's a walk for Roman Martin.
And the walk troubles continue for the Anteaters. Certainly for Butler on the mound, that's walk number 26 of the 38 innings that he has pitched on the mound this year. That was a 7-pitch at-bat, primarily fastballs on the inside that he just could not locate on that inside part of the plate.
A.J. Salgado, the 7th batter for UCLA in this 4th inning. 1 on, 1 out for him. And he takes a fastball belt high over the inside. Strike called, 0-1.
And it looked like a little bit of that cutter action one more time. Started on the middle, ended up towards the inside part of the plate. Salgado turned that elbow on the inside.
A 1 pitch off the outside and low. Penso, the catcher, leaning down and to his left to get it. Ball and a strike to Salgado, who has a strikeout. And that long fly out to center field. McCombs tracking that one down at the wall. And there's a called strike. Another fastball over the plate. 1-2. Butler, the 3rd pitcher already for UC Irvine. Finnegan Wall getting the start, lasted just 2 innings. Now the righty kicks and deals, and it's fouled straight back into the screen. Still 1-2 to A.J. Salgado.
Pretty consistently fastballs here, and look, if you're Butler on the mound, you just want to focus on Salgado. 1 out, induce that double play. Martin's got decent speed at first, but 7-0 lead. He's not going to be in motion.
Now the 1-2 pitch again. Outside, well away there, off speed, 2-2.
Yet another count here where he's working it. That fastball by Butler is up to 94, looks like.
Two balls, 2 strikes with that middle infield at double play depth. And Salgado takes inside. Slider coming in on the hands, and another full count for Butler to deal with.
2 straight batters he's faced. First batter, 7 pitches. And now this one, also 7 pitches coming up. So that's 14 between the two that hasn't recorded an out just yet.
There goes Martin on the 3-2 and swinging away. It's a flare to left field. That'll get down. Martin racing around second, headed for third. The ball is bobbled by Carney, and so there's no play at third. Martin in there standing, and A.J. Salgado works a bloop single. Runners on the corners, and still just 1 away in the 4th inning.
Yeah, and it just looked like he got jammed on that pitch. Salgado, a left-handed hitter, kind of muscled that one to shallow left field, and Carney, the left fielder, was playing relatively deep, so Roman Martin in motion, able to get to third base. But now 1 out in the inning, yet another runner while still in scoring position. Salgado at first, good speed. So a ball in the gap, he's got a chance to score if he gets a good jump.
Now Peyton Brennan at the plate. And it's outside, 1 ball and no strikes. So UCLA now with 9 hits in the game, coming from 8 different batters. Blake Baltz on deck, the only one in the lineup without a hit yet. Check on Salgado, and he's back safely. No tag applied.
And one of the reasons for that success in the batter's box, Irvine has not been able to get that first pitch strike in. They're right at about half in terms of getting that first pitch strike on the mound. UCLA getting into advantageous counts, and they've been taking advantage of it.
And they're ahead 7-0. And holding up there is Brennan to take the pitch down and away from Butler. 2 balls and no strikes.
And it looks like Penso, the catcher for the Anteaters, given the first and third defense here to account for the fact that if Salgado is in motion, they've got a plan for how they're going to tackle handling that runner, Roman Martin, at third.
Peyton Brennan ahead 2-0. The pitch, fastball in there for a strike. 2-1.
Good pitch to get back in the zone on the outside part of the plate. No movement from Salgado at first base. Remember, it's a 7-0 game, but UCLA's been pretty aggressive on the base path, so you never know.
Brennan with a double and a walk tonight, and swinging away. Loud contact to left field. Carney at the wall makes the catch. That's deep enough to score Martin. He will trot on in without a play, and UCLA now leads 8-0. Their 3rd sac fly of the evening.
And it just feels like they're making it look so easy to manufacture runs. I mean, just an easy swing there out of the box. That was a slider that he took to left field. Carney, the outfielder, able to catch that mid to deep left field, so enough for Roman Martin to score. But that's 5 runs in this 4th inning. 1 run in the first, 2 in the second, and now 5 in the 4th, so an 8-run lead on 9 hits. Lot of ball games still left to go.
3 of the runs in this inning coming from Levu's home run. As there's a check on Salgado before Blake Baltz can see a pitch from Butler. Baltz the 9th to hit in this inning. 8-0 Bruins in the top of the 4th. And the pitch, Baltz squares and ultimately takes outside. The fastball off the plate, 1-0. And the trend continues of those first pitches being out of the zone. And if you're UCLA, you're in no rush to go chasing whatsoever.
No, not at all. Let them come to you.
There's a turn to first, and again, Salgado back safely, this time on his feet.
Yeah, one thing also to note that's interesting is UCLA still squaring to show bunt, as they did in a couple of the other blowouts we saw on Saturday and Friday. And it's really just a tactic, it seems like, just to get in these pitchers' heads. Makes it a little bit harder, perhaps, to find the zone.
Baltz squares again, but really a half-hearted attempt as that one comes across for a strike, 1-1. Baltz with a sac bunt and a fly out to center field tonight. I mean, Baltz squared, but he didn't even bend his knees. Now the 1-1 from Butler. Inside, a called strike. Looked like a changeup there, 1-2.
And a good one on the inside part of the plate, just under Baltz's hands in the left right-hander batter's box.
Bolts likes to get himself all the way up on the plate as much as he can. Salgado diving back to first with another throw over from Butler.
And something to note, too, Bermudez, the second baseman for the Anteaters, is not playing to pull. He's playing straight up towards the middle of the diamond. Meanwhile, shortstop Colin Yeaman is playing a little bit to the left, actually, to account for the oppo.
And Bolts fouls it off the top of the screen. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
And sometimes that can tell you about what a pitcher is trying to throw on the mound, depending on where that middle infield is, because they've got pitch comms in their hats as well. So if they're accounting for, him to go opposite field, perhaps you can infer that you might see a fastball.
Bolts softly rocking that bat as there's a throw over to check on Salgado, who dives back once more safely. He's getting that white pinstripe jersey nice and dirty on the chest.
As it's meant to be.
Cash Duggar on deck. He's got dirt on the back of his jersey. There goes Salgado, and the pitch out sails out of the reach of Penso all the way to the backstop. And Salgado is on second.
And that might have been defined as just a bit outside. I mean, that one didn't even, Penso leaped for that one into the opposite batter's box and couldn't get it. So, I mean, talk about a pitch out.
Now, rest in peace, Bob Euchre. But that was just a bit outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes now to Bolts, who's got Salgado in scoring position. But first, Butler needs to step off. $8-0 UCLA in the 4th. The pitch is lifted foul. That is back behind home plate. 2-2. Still the count here. 5 runs in the inning for UCLA. Now looking to make it 3 consecutive games scoring double digits here in the regional. 2-2 is poked at, grounded right to third. Castanola up with it cleanly, and the throw across in time to retire the side. 5 runs on 3 hits and 1 left. After 3.5 in LA, it's UCLA 8, UC Irvine nothing. UCLA in control early here against UC Irvine in the regional final as they lead the Anteaters 8-0. We advance to the last of the 4th. Chase Call, Jacob McCombs, and Anthony Martinez due up for UCI, which has been held to just 1 hit so far. Wylan Moss has faced 1 plus the minimum so far with 4 strikeouts. And he lobs a slider on the inside for a called strike to begin the at-bat against Call.
And to consider the fact that, hey, he's been in the dugout sitting there for a while. Only has 42 pitches on the game so far.
By the way, Papa Call is back in the front row filming as Chase takes a pitch down and away, and he's taken off the UCLA hat, just the Irvine hat on now. 1 ball and 1 strike to Chase Call, who struck out against Wyland Moss in the first. Slider just off the inside, 2-1.
And he's got that phone camera out right on the net to watch.
I mean, he looks like a proud parent.
As he should. Who cares if it's on television? Got to get it on your own iPhone.
Moss into his windup, and the 2-1. Another slider, big swing and a miss. Call out in front, 2-2.
Really good pitch. That time differential of sitting in the dugout has not seemed to do anything for Wyland Moss here. He's looking great in these first couple of pitches.
Glove in front of his face. A little stutter step as he pivots. Now comes home, and the fastball is outside to run the count full. 3-2.
And the defense there for the Bruins shifted over to the left. Phoenix called just behind second base, the left side of the infield for the pull.
Payoff pitch from Moss. Down and away, missed with the slider, and Call is aboard to lead off the 4th inning for UC Irvine. First time they have had the leadoff man reach tonight.
After starting this game with striking out the side, Wyland Moss had that 1 walk earlier in the game, but to start off the inning with a base on balls, no activity in the bullpen for UCLA, but you have to wonder, with a big lead, if you maybe consider how much you want to give Wyland Moss here. Or, I don't know, give him the leash and let him keep going. But, you know, he was banged up a little bit earlier in the year, so we might see some action in the bullpen, and it looks like we might be seeing someone getting up actually right now.
A couple guys milling about. Meanwhile, Moss attacks McCombs. And the first pitch is a liner to left field, but hanging up there, and Dean West makes the catch. Trotting on back to first goes Chase Call. And McCombs is retired on 1 pitch. Now 0 for 2.
And in that previous game earlier today in the 3rd inning, Jacob McCombs hit a nice little home run there. Similarly, a pretty good swing, hard hit off the bat, opposite field to left field, but just not finding grass.
We'll talk about finding grass. That is what Anthony Martinez did in his first at-bat. The Phoenix Call tracked it down in shallow right field and threw out the big first baseman for UCI. His second at-bat now starts with a slider running inside for ball 1. Martinez looks like he's built like a linebacker more than a ball player out there, but 6'3", 230. And he is imposing from the left side of the plate. 1-0 pitch to him. It is a fastball low, and it's sat right between the feet of Duggar. He locates it quickly and holds Call at first. Martinez here this weekend has become UC Irvine's all-time RBI leader. Now 191 of them across just 3 seasons. 2-0 is fouled off to the left. Last year, Martinez set a UCI single-season record when he drove in 74. He's got 56 of them this year, with a runner on first and 1 out, last of the 4th, and UCLA in front, 8-0. Moss's 2-1 pitch is a fastball that hit him right on the arm. So a couple of free passes issued here by Moss in the 4th inning. First the walk to Call, and now the hit batter. Martinez is aboard, 2 on and 1 out for Colin Yeaman.
Yeah, and I mean, that one just got him on the elbow guard there. That's hit by pitch number 13 for him on the season. For Anthony Martinez, and a big guy. Looks like we're going to have John Savage That's head coach and also pitching coach for the Bruins, going out to talk to his young pitcher, Wylan Moss. And, I mean, to consider the situation that Wylan Moss finds himself in as the Savage goes and talks to him, an 8-0 lead. But again, he is a freshman who's thrown quite a few innings this year, has great stuff. And again, we talked earlier how he switched between that starting role to the closer role and being a reliever. And of course, getting banged up a little bit earlier there in the middle of the season. And this was a quick mound visit to perhaps give Moss a chance to recapture his thoughts and his emotions. Hit by batter, and he had that walk earlier to start the inning. So 2 runners on at the moment. He's got the force out, set up at any base. So just a moment here to regroup and get back into it.
You could tell when John Savage came out with a bit of a trot in his gait that this was not a take him out situation, but a settle down situation. As Moss delivers the first pitch to Yeaman, and that breaking ball is up and in, not close. No, ball 1 there. Meanwhile, in the UCLA bullpen, Cal Randall and Chris Grotus are standing by. And UCLA has the benefit, starting 2-0 in this regional. That bullpen is fresh tonight and ready to go. Meanwhile, Moss misses the zone again. Down and away, 2 balls and no strikes.
And a better pitch there. That first pitch, it looked like a changeup maybe that almost grabbed Yeaman on his elbow in the right-handed box, but then went back to the slider that went on the outside. But he's got to get back into the zone here.
Yeaman, the only hit tonight for UC Irvine, back in the second. And on the 2-0, he takes a slider away, 3 balls and no strikes.
And now the question of what do you do here if you're John Savage? If Moss can't quite find the zone here. Now to note too, the defense is still played for the pull with the right-handed hitter. Phoenix Call covering the base just behind second.
Moss got to find the zone, and he does not. High with the fastball, and the bases are loaded, giving UC Irvine some life here. Down 8-0, but 2 walks and a hit batter. They have not had to put the ball in play to get 3 men on.
Yeah, that walk, the hit by pitch, and the walk again. Now they did get 1 out on that fly out, but that's 15 pitches that Moss has thrown in this inning. And he's got to find himself back into the zone, or he might find himself out of the game if this gets out of hand.
And brings up Castanola, who's got a 200 average this year with the bases loaded. And there is the zone for Moss. Drops that slider in at the belt, strike 1. Biggest game of Wylan Moss's young career. A true freshman out of Mater Dei High School. The 0-1 pitch. Fastball low. 1-1. And even though if you're UC Irvine down 8-0, it's only the 4th inning. And if you're Castanola at the plate, given with what you've seen from Moss in this inning, you're content to not force the issue.
No, you'll just keep taking pitches until you get one good.
1-1 fastball, and there's a swing and a foul right at home plate. Healthy rip there from Castanola, who grounded into a double play to end the 2nd inning.
And that was the one he wanted right there. Middle, slightly up at the letters. Tried to pull that one down the left field line. Just early on that pitch.
So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Castanola with 5 batted in the regional. 1-2 pitch is grounded sharply past a diving Chalowski into left field. 1 run is in, and that'll be all. But UC Irvine is on the board. James Castanola drives in the first run of the game for the Anteaters to make it an 8-1 score as Chase Call touches home plate.
And the 6-hitter gets it done there. Bases loaded. Gets RBI number 28 on the season. Irvine content to play station to station. But unfortunately for Wylan Moss, it looks like that's going to be it for him.
John Savage out of the dugout, and he will make the call to the pen. And that'll be it for Moss. Just the 3 1/3. The errant pitching getting him into trouble, issuing 4 free passes tonight, though he did have 4 strikeouts as well. He does well to get UCLA started right. Their offense has given them a healthy lead. And he gives the ball to Chris Grotus here, who will come on and face the batter Alonzo Reyes, a left-hander, when we return. Last of the fourth, UCLA up 8-1, but UC Irvine with the bases loaded and one out.
Pitching change for UCLA. Now on the mound for the Bruins, number 45, Chris Grotus. Here we go. Batting for the Anteaters.
Chris Grotus on for UCLA, the first out of the bullpen for the Bruins. He inherits the bases loaded with one out, but the Bruins in control here, 8-1, last of the fourth, and a lefty-on-lefty matchup for Grotus as he faces the UC Irvine DH Alonzo Reyes. And the first pitch, fastball on the outside corner for a called strike from Grotus.
Yeah, good pop in that release from Grotus, a mid to high three-quarter release. Got a fastball and a slider that he generally uses.
A 4.94 ERA for Grotus this season as he spikes this one outside, but a casual pick there from Duggar behind the plate, 1-1.
That's a good stop behind the plate, especially bases loaded that Grotus is coming into. A ground ball would get him out of the inning. They've got to play at any base.
3 on, 1 out, 1-1 pitch, swing and a miss. Right through that fastball on the outside. 1-2 as Grotus just watched the freshman Wyland Moss record one out, but also walked a couple, hit a batter, and then gave up a hit. Grotus outside, 2-2.
Really trying to paint that outside part of the plate. Wants that ground ball. The infield for the Bruins all playing back, including the corners, Roman Martin and Levu.
2-2 pitch is grounded foul up the first base line. Brought a fastball up and in. And Reyes just protecting there.
Yeah, 2-2 count. Pitch number 6 coming up. That was a 91-mile-an-hour fastball right there. That's where you'll see Grotus sit. But he'd like to get this strikeout here if he can get it.
Another 2-2. Fastball is grounded softly on the right side. Charged by Levu. Underhand flip to Grotus covering first. They get the out there to retire Reyes. But that allows Martinez to come in and score from third and make it an 8-2 ball game.
Good PFP action there. Levi Levu had to move over on the chopper. A lot of lift on that ground ball. Quick little scoop, and then he shoveled it over to Chris Grotus running towards the bag. That's how you write it up. But still runners on second and third, but 2 outs as infield's going to play deep and shift slightly over to the left. Outfield playing deep.
So now second and third with the 2 outs for the catcher, Blake Penso. UCLA's lead down to 6 as Grotus misses outside with a changeup, ball 1. UC Irvine finally on the board in this 4th inning, taking advantage of the free passes. Still just 2 hits tonight so far. 1-0 from Grotus. Fastball fouled straight back into the screen.
And he was right on that pitch. Penso fouling it straight back on that fastball. First pitch was a changeup. We'll see what Grotus does here, perhaps changing speeds with this 1-1 count coming up.
Grotus set, holding below the belt. He throws. Breaking ball, high and away, 2-1.
And he just maybe had that one slightly a few inches too high. It ended up kind of at the belt, potentially a hanging breaking ball.
Game in the lead, runner on third, Castanola on second. The pitch, there's a called strike. Brought the same breaking ball a little more over the plate and gets the call, 2-2.
And I don't think Penso liked that call. He shook his head a little bit at the plate. Was a high strike.
8-2 UCLA leading as Grotus steps off. And we'll reset here. 5 runs in the top of the 4th for UCLA. UC Irvine has responded with 2 of their own. Breaking ball fouled right at the plate, skipping off that lead foot of the right-handed hitting Penso.
And yet another good at-bat, though, for the Anteaters. Grotus in that first ground out. Well, that was a 7-pitch at-bat. This is pitch number 6 coming up to Mr. Penso here at the plate.
Open stance from the right side as Grotus comes set. He delivers. Fastball struck him out swinging. Chris Grotus fired up as he heads off the mound, able to strand a pair and get UCLA out of the inning. After 4 in Los Angeles, UCLA leads UC Irvine 8-2.
Favorite game, the amazing concession race. Check out left field or by third base. Behind there, we've got our contestants walking out. Sally Soda, Peter Popcorn, Paula Pretzel, and Harry the Hot Dog. They are all going to line up and race all the way to the wall and back. And the first one to win will get a voucher for some food at the concession stand. All right, fans, we need you to cheer them on. Let's count them down in 3, 2, 1, and race. All right. Starting off pretty good. Looks like Peter Popcorn pulling ahead there at the front. Making it to the wall before everyone else. All right. It's a quick turnaround. Oh, it's going to be close coming back. We got Sally Soda, Peter Popcorn, Sally Soda. Looks like Peter Popcorn's going to take the win. Congratulations, Peter Popcorn. And let's hear it also for Harry the Hot Dog and Paula the Pretzel. Bringing it up there at the end. Of course, we can't forget Sally Soda as well. Thank you so much for playing our concession race. And fans, don't forget, if you need something to drink or eat, go swing by the concession stand. It is open right now. All right, fans, let's take another look at some scores. NCAA regional play around the nation. In Nashville, we have a final. Louisville over Wright State, 6-0. Louisville will advance. In Auburn wins over NC State, 11-1. Auburn advancing to the Super Regional. In Oxford, Murray State, Ole Miss, they are forcing a game 7 tomorrow night. So that's in Oxford, Murray State, and Ole Miss. In Fayetteville, Arkansas winning over Creighton 8-3. Arkansas also advancing to the Super Regional.
Back inside Jackie Robinson Stadium as we get ready for the 5th inning. The Bruins will have 8, 9, and 1 in the order. Cash Duggar, Phoenix Call, and Dean West. This is one of 4 games currently in action. And real quick updating, Arizona looks like they are going to advance to the Supers. They're leading Cal Poly 12-0 up in Eugene. That's in the 8th inning. Oregon State on their way to forcing a Game 7 tomorrow. They lead USC 6-1 up in Corvallis. They're heading to the 6th inning there, so still some time for the Trojans. But potentially a winner-take-all game there tomorrow. And Little Rock on their way to forcing a Game 7 against LSU.
How about that?
They're up 10-4 in the 9th inning. Cash Duggar here at the top of the 5th. Takes ball 1, a pitch outside from David Butler of UC Irvine. Of course, the winner of this one will host UTSA in a super regional next week. 1-0 from Butler. Is a fastball inside, gets the corner to run the count to 1-1. UCLA needs just one win. UC Irvine needs to win tonight and then win a Game 7 tomorrow in a double elimination format. Slider outside from Butler. 2 balls and a strike to Duggar, who got that 4th inning rally started with a leadoff walk. That came against Danny Suarez. And Butler had to relieve him after that Levu home run. But he's now fallen behind 3-1 as he comes down and in against Duggar.
And just can't find the zone. He's falling behind. He's 1 for 5 in first pitch strikes, Nick, so far, and certainly not helping Irvine's case at the moment.
3-1 fastball is grounded right to second. Bermudez is there, lobs the throw over to Martinez, covering the bag for out number 1, retiring Cash Duggar, who is retired for the first time tonight.
And he just got him to retire him on that fastball there on the inside part of the plate, but he hit this one straight into the grass right in front of the plate, and just an easy 4-3 put out for the Anteaters.
That sets up Phoenix Call, who has reached both of his 2 times to the plate, a single and a walk. And he squares and takes a fastball over the plate, strike 1.
And interesting to see him continue to square. I don't think it's actually him trying to put that bunt down, but it has prompted Castignola, the third baseman, to play a little bit in line with third.
0-1. No square this time as Call takes a strike on the outside.
And with that pitch, Castignola, the third baseman, now moving pretty deep towards the line. So all the infield playing deep.
And playing the right-handed hitting Call to pull. 0-2. Butler's pitch is a fastball spiked in there, 1-2. Infield to pull, outfield the opposite way a bit. As UCLA leads 8-2. 8 runs on 9 hits, no errors, 5 left. 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors, 3 left for UC Irvine. And the fastball well outside. Count evens 2-2. Easy takes on back-to-back pitches for Phoenix Call.
Yeah, got him on that 0-2 on two fastballs, and then trying to put him away, but Call not biting. He's looking for something a little bit more in the zone, even with 2 strikes.
Here's the pitch, and struck him out swinging. The fastball in the dirt. Penso's got to step out and complete it on down to first, and he does just that. And so that is only the 2nd strikeout of a Bruin batter tonight, as UC Irvine has a chance to put UCLA down in order for the first time tonight.
Yeah, it's kind of uncommon this whole weekend. It feels like every time they come up, it's a dangerous inning from this Bruin offense when they're at the plate.
Dean Westel hit with the bases clear. And there's a check swing foul just wide of Chalowski in the on-deck circle on the third base side.
And he almost put a hand out there to try and catch that one in the on-deck circle.
West is 2 for 2. And takes the slider on the outside, 0-2.
West talking to home plate umpire Brian Miller after that call, continuing to have a little bit of a conversation, perhaps trying to understand where that zone is at the moment. Did appear on the outside to be a strike.
A pitch, and that hits West. Got the fastball up and in. And West is aboard. A mistake there on 0-2 from David Butler.
And that's hit by pitch. Ready for it? Number 20 for Dean West.
Well, how about 6 of them this weekend alone.
Which is nuts to think about. But, I mean, that's kind of who he is, a gritty player, not afraid to put his body out there, and he stays close to the plate when he's in the batter's box as a left-handed hitter. And so sometimes that's what it'll get you. I mean, hey, a free pass is a free pass, or a hit by pitch, either way gets you 90 feet.
And it allows Chalowski to hit with a man aboard. And there's a fastball inside for ball 1. So UCLA will not be retired in order, and prompted me to look how many times has that happened this weekend. Exactly 1 time.
Wow.
The 9th inning last night against ASU, and the Bruins were in control. There goes West, and Chalowski fouls the pitch, softly rolling to Levu, who is standing on deck. So it's 1-1.
Now Dean West getting a little bit of calisthenics in as he jogs back to first base. I mean, it is a 6-run lead, so not necessarily a blowout lead. So that's prompting that motion there from Dean West, who does have good speed as the leadoff hitter for the Bruins.
8-2, UCLA leading, top of the 5th. There goes West again, and the 1-1 is grounded to the left side. Sliding down is Yeaman to his feet. The throw to first in time. One hopped to Anthony Martinez, and the side retire. So Yeaman losing his footing, but does well to get back up and fire that one on to first. And UCLA is held off the board here in the 5th. Midway through regulation on this one, and it's UCLA on top of UC Irvine, 8-2.
AWS has you covered. Be sure to head there for super regional ticket and broadcast information. Write it down. That's ncaa.com/ncws. Here we go. Bottom of the 5th, leading off for UC Irvine. Left fielder 23, Frankie Carney.
Welcome back to Jackie Robinson Stadium in Los Angeles. Bottom of the 5th with UC Irvine coming to the plate. Bruins in front of the Anteaters 8-2 in the regional final here in Los Angeles. Carney, Bermudez, and Call. 9-1-2 in the order due up for the Eaters. Chris Grotus continues and pipes in that 92-mile-an-hour fastball for strike 1.
And he's just picking up right where he left it off last inning, where he got that case swinging. Trying to keep it going here against Carney,
who is 0 for 1, reaching on a fielder's choice, and he takes a fastball up and in. A ball and a strike. It's a wild day in college baseball. The number 1 overall seed, Vanderbilt, the number 2 seed, Texas, both going down. Grotus's pitch. Slider just misses the outside, 2-1. And you were just looking, it's the first time since '99 that the top 2 seeds failed to reach the Supers.
That's right, with the Longhorns and with Vanderbilt both faltering.
A second time since '99. Grotus missing down low, 3-1. And Little Rock did finish off that win against LSU, so that's a winner-take-all game tomorrow in Baton Rouge. Tigers had been in cruise control all weekend. 3-1, fastball in there. Full count now against Carney.
Kearney just trying to stick into this game. I mean, look, 6th pitch coming up. You just want to keep working the count, finding advantageous pitches, getting on base any way you can, maybe a walk.
And the payoff pitch is down and away. An easy take there as that fastball got away from Grotus. And so UC Irvine, just 2 hits tonight, but that is the 5th free pass that they have drawn.
Yeah, now a little bit of activity in the Bruins bullpen at the moment. It looks like Cal Randall, power throwing right-handed pitcher, getting loose in the bullpen. So with that leadoff walk, no mound visit or anything at the moment. But we'll see how much of a lead Chris Grotus gets here with a 6-run lead. I mean, Irvine, granted, only has 2 hits in the game, so these free passes, they cannot give up more of these, especially with a team that has not really been able to connect.
Hey, UC Irvine just 2 for 13 collectively tonight, but being gifted some opportunities here over the last couple of innings. As the first pitch to Bermudez is sky to right center field. Brennan with a beat on it, stepping in front of Salgado in the gap, makes the catch, and there's one away here in the 5th. And if you're Grotus, you love that. Bermudez coming up, swinging right away. Give you that out right after the walk.
And it perfectly sets up a double play possibility here. 1 out. That's all you need. Make that walk erase itself.
Chase Call at the plate for a 3rd time. Had that leadoff walk to begin the 4th off of Wylan Moss, who started this game going 3 1/3. First pitch to Call is a changeup, down and away, ball 1. So Moss is charged each of the 2 runs on the board for UC Irvine. Grotus checks on the runner, Kearney. Out comes home. Fastball belt high on the inside for a called strike. 1-1.
Good change of speeds there from the breaking ball back to the fastball on the inside part of the plate.
UCLA up 8-2, last of the 5th. 1 on and 1 out for the big hitting Chase Call. And fouls the breaking ball back into the screen. Came in on the hands, did Grotus. 1-2.
Good job to get into that 2-strike count by Chris Grotus. Just needs 1 more to put him away, or a ground ball.
Grotus holding set. Deals a fastball outside. Count evens 2-2. Chase Call, 2nd team All Big West honoree this year. Missed a couple of weeks in early May, and there was an outfield collision that shook him up, hurt his back. He missed a couple of weeks. And he's good to go here as there's a pickoff throw to first, and back diving safely is Kearney.
Yeah, on a team that does not have a lot of stolen bases, Kearney does have 2. Most in this starting lineup tonight is actually, well, 3 from Colin Yeaman, the shortstop.
And this is not a running outfit in UC Irvine. 2-2 to Call. Well off the outside. Another fastball from Grotus. And another full count here in the 5th inning for the left-hander.
It's turned into a bit of a stressful inning. 12 pitches so far. Has collected 1 out, but that's courtesy of those 2 full counts.
We've entered the 10 o'clock hour here in LA. 3-2 inside, ball 4. Right in front of the knees with that fastball. 2 walks in the inning for Chris Grotus. And we have not been accustomed to seeing walk troubles for Grotus this season. He's been strong in that department. But UC Irvine getting more free passes as they try to cut into this 6-run deficit.
Yeah, and you see the infield here. Cash Duggar standing in front of home plate to give a little bit of time for that bullpen to continue getting ready, not have to burn a mound visit from John Savage, and he's giving signs to his infielders who will be playing for the double play. Rock Chalowski playing behind second base. Phoenix Call, the second baseman, pulled to the right for the left-handed hitter, and Mulibai Levu playing also towards the line down the right side of the infield.
So here is McCombs. Left-handed hitter. First pitch fouled off his lead foot, and it rocketed on the ground into the field of play. That's how much pace was off the bat and then off his foot. It got all the way past the mound to the right of it, to the point that Phoenix Call picked it up, but looks to be all right as he takes a few paces outside the home plate area.
And he's not wearing a foot guard or anything like that, so must have hit him in a, well, advantageous location, you could say.
First and second, one out for UC Irvine and McCombs, who is 0 for 2. And the pitch is lifted softly into right center field. That's down, base hit. Getting a late break is Carney. He will have to throw on the brakes at third. And UC Irvine has the bases loaded for the second consecutive inning. And just one out on the board. And the big hitting Anthony Martinez will be the batter.
Looks like time is going to be called for a quick little chat between Cash Duggar, the catcher, and Chris Grotus, the pitcher. Now let's talk about what happened on that last play there. So McCombs, he hit that ball, kind of fisted it out toward shallow right field. It looked like a fastball on the inside part of the plate. Phoenix Call did a great job of hustling out to shallow right center field as the outfield was playing deep, so he prevented that runner Carney from scoring from second. So a big run saved there, but not quite out of the inning yet, as it looks like this might be it, possibly for Chris Grotus, as John Savage is coming out for a mound visit.
And he will make the call to the bullpen, and that'll be it for Grotus. UCLA has been in control tonight thanks to getting 3 runs across the first 2 innings, plating 5 in the 4th, but as they lead 8-2 in the 5th, and their bullpen rested and ready to go, not going to take any chances, but the walks have gotten in the way of what has otherwise been a pretty clean game. That is only the 3rd hit by UC Irvine, but the Anteaters have drawn now 5 walks tonight. You also have a hit batter in there as well, so 6 free passes in not 5 full innings.
Yeah, and I mean, you're right, only 3 hits, and those 2 earned runs coming back when Wyland Moss was in the game. Irvine struck out 5 times against this pitching staff, but these walk troubles are starting to possibly prove significant here in the middle innings. 5 walks, and what that really tells you is that Irvine might be getting a little bit unlucky in terms of not being able to get great contact. Granted, even that last hit we just saw was basically a blooper, but now they're able to possibly strike. And remember, 8-2 game. They scored 2 runs last inning. And now with only 1 out and bases loaded, they've got the chance to make a pretty big dent in this game and get back into this one.
And they will face a hard-throwing right-hander for UCLA, Cal Randall, who has been very good as of late. Over the course of the season, the numbers for the sophomore righty, a .291 earned run average as he makes his 25th appearance, 2-1 his record, and 21 2/3 innings. He's got 24 strikeouts, over 14 walks, and holding opponents to a .184 batting average.
Yeah, he's been excellent this year. Also a big guy, 6'4", 210 from De La Salle High School. So he's a Bay Area product, finding his way down here in Los Angeles. And the one thing you can expect out of him is a pretty high range fastball. He can get that one easily into the mid-90s when he's on. Couples it with a slider, but you're gonna see him pretty dominantly use that fastball as his primary pitch.
Over his last 7 appearances, totaling 8 1/3 innings, Cal Randall has allowed just 1 run. So he has saved his best here late in the year. Also during that stretch, he has wrapped up 13 strikeouts in that span as well. Dealing with Anthony Martinez here, 3 on 1 out and protecting a 6-run lead. And there's a fastball piped down and in for ball 1.
That's a big ball 1 here. It gives you a little bit of flexibility at the plate to perhaps get a better pitch.
Martinez, a ground out, and he has reached being hit by a pitch. Fastball swung right through it. A foul tip held on by Duggar.
And that one came in with some good velocity on it. Looked like that one was easily mid-90s.
Randall being clocked right around 96 miles an hour here. 1-1 to Martinez. The pitch. Fastball in the air, down the left field line. This is dangerous, and it'll fall towards the corner. West on after it. 1 run is in, 2 runs are in, and it's now an 8-4 ball game as Anthony Martinez goes the opposite way. West playing well off the line, and it's a 2 RBI double. 4 unanswered runs for UC Irvine, and they are within striking distance here in the 5th.
And that completely changed a lot. Look, that's the middle of the lineup. Martinez, one of their best hitters. And they've still got 2 runners in scoring position. Remember, they just played a game right before this, so they've got a lot of energy and a lot of momentum right now to possibly make this only a 2-run game with a single.
And that dugout and that fan section is boisterous there on the first base side. And now it is Yeaman. First pitch fastball, bell tie on the outside for strike 1. Second and third, 1 out for UC Irvine. And UCLA swung around to pull against a left-handed hitter, and Martinez beat him. 0-1 offering. Another fastball right down the middle, 0-2.
And he piped that one perfectly on the outside part of the plate. He's in a good spot right now in a 2-strike count, 1 out. Trying to be out of the zone here, maybe get the chase.
Yeaman with a single and a walk. The Big West Field Player of the Year. And looks at a fastball outside.
And
1 ball and 2 strikes.
I mean, talk about velocity. That one up to 97, at least on these last couple of pitches.
McCombs on third, Martinez on second, first base open. Swing and a miss, he struck him out. Blew the fastball by him for out number 2, and out the Bruins desperately need it.
What a huge strikeout that is, not only for him, but certainly for the defense behind him. Give him a little bit of maybe calm. They can take a deep breath on this next pitch. They just have to get 1 out now, so you can maybe not think too much about that runner in scoring position. On that last pitch, it actually looked like he took a little bit off that one, 90 miles per hour, so perhaps a changeup actually.
And now here is Castanola. Swing and a miss late on the fastball. Put it towards the outside. Randall trying to shut the door on UC Irvine here in the 5th. This game has gotten a lot more interesting. Swing and a miss, another one right through it. It looked like he may have taken something off of that pitch as well, after the previous swing and miss was a 97-mile-an-hour fastball.
Looks like some type of, I don't know, a changeup or a 2-seamer, something with a little bit of movement.
0-2, just above the belt for ball 1.
And you can hear the popping of that glove. He is really bringing it there. The intensity is certainly something you can feel from Randall on the mound right now. Just needs 1 more pitch.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Castanola, who is 1 for 2. The pitch is shot high in the air to left field. West started in, drifting back. He's circling underneath at the track and makes the catch. And the side is retired. But UC Irvine draws closer. 2 more runs on 2 hits with 2 left on base. After 5, it's UCLA 8, UC Irvine 4.
Pitching change for UC Irvine. Now on the mound, number 2, Jack Ross.
trying to force a decisive game tomorrow. Bruins leading 8-4 as we begin the 6th inning. With the heart of the order due up for UCLA. Levu, Martin, and Salgado, 3, 4, and 5. Will face a new pitcher for UC Irvine, Jack Ross. This 6'3" right-hander out of Huntington Beach and a former JUCO pitcher at Orange Coast College is on for his 14th appearance of the season, and he gets a called strike above the knees to begin the at-bat against Levu. Numbers for Ross, 3-2 with a 5.85 ERA. He's got 30 strikeouts in 32 innings. And he misses outside here with a fastball. It's 1-1. Team's hitting .258 against Mr. Ross. Levu with the 3-run homer to the opposite field last time up in the 4th. And he pulls this one on the ground right to Martinez at first, who will take it to the bag himself for out number 1. So UC Irvine with 4 unanswered runs to answer that 5 spot from UCLA in the top of the 4th, have taken what was an 8-0 game and starting to chip away, now within 4. And UCLA trying to get this offense going again. In the 5th, nothing doing it for UCLA. And meanwhile, they've watched this UC Irvine offense come alive. Their fans and their dugout get re-engaged. As Roman Martin grounds the first pitch to the left side. Castanola to his left from third, has it, and Martin is retired on 1 pitch. And so it feels like the pressure is being put back on this UCLA offense a little bit, and so far that is 2 quick outs against Jack Ross.
And that's 3 straight ground outs, and it just feels like, to your point, at least in the last inning or so, all the contact that UCLA has been making has been relatively weak off the end of the bat. Meanwhile, Irvine taking advantage offensively of all those free passes.
They had walk issues of their own, but they were concentrated in that 4th inning as A.J. Salgado takes down low for ball 1. So Ross, the 4th pitcher for UC Irvine, has climbed their way through the losers bracket to get here. Slider down and in for the right-hander. 2 balls and no strikes.
And definitely a change in his approach to Salgado, a left-handed hitter, going back to the off-speed pitch. Everything fastball before from Ross.
Salgado looks at another softy down and in. Looks like a fastball maybe with a little bit of cut there from Ross. 3 balls and no strikes though. Out of the windup, he deals. And finds the zone there on the outside. Another fastball, 3-1.
He's got a high 3/4 release. 6'3" on the mound, so good height. And also some movement on that pitch.
3-1. Just missed the outside, and Salgado will walk on down to first. A 2-out base runner for UCLA.
And it feels like the first time, well, it's the first time in 3 batters actually that Bruins have had somebody on since that hit by pitch in the previous inning, but Brian Miller didn't give that call behind the plate on that 3-1 count.
So Peyton Brennan will hit, who has been arguably UCLA's best bat over the last couple of weeks. And so far tonight, he's got a double, a walk, and a sac fly, continuing to be productive. Salgado on first, 2 outs, top of the 6th. And UCLA in front, 8-4. First pitch to Brennan is a called strike. He started to bring the bat forward ever so slightly, but didn't like the look of that slider. It's strike 1 nonetheless.
And a good pitch. Defensively, the outfield for the Anteaters playing pretty deep. No doubles. They don't want to get this to the wall.
Salgado falls back to first with the check from Ross.
Meanwhile, with 2 outs, second baseman Will Bermudez, he's playing towards the right to account for the pull. The left side playing pretty standard.
Brennan waiting. Now the pitch. Fastball just outside, maybe low. That looked like a quality pitch there from Ross, and some extra zip on that fastball into the low 90s, but it's 1-1.
Yeah, I just missed the call. Perhaps that zone maybe tightening up a little bit. Not sure, but something to watch out for.
The pitch inside. Brought that fastball in towards Brennan. 2 balls and 1 strike.
He's been pretty much right around the zone. That was the first pitch where it seemed like that pitch got a little bit away from him. That fastball's right around 90 miles an hour.
2-1 offering. And Brennan puts it on the ground past the diving Bermudez at second into right center field. Salgado now standing on third as he works his way around, and Peyton Brennan has his second hit of the ball game. First and third, 2 outs.
And what a great swing. 2-1 count. Probably the best hit we've seen, or batted ball at least, by UCLA in several at-bats. And it actually looked like the second baseman, Will Bermudez, actually dove a little bit too far on that ball. It actually ended up, as he was diving, the ball went under his chest as he was about to descend towards the ground. That was an 87-mile-per-hour pitch. And that puts runners on first and third, and a chance for UCLA to get back into the run column for the first time since that 5-run 4th inning.
I think Bermudez was expecting that ball to be a little bit faster than it was, maybe. He had a chance to backhand that, it looked like. Check on Brennan, who dives back to the bag.
And what possibly could have happened there is that maybe it's playing a little bit slick on the grass at the moment. There is a bit of marine layer kind of coming across the field at the moment, so possibly made that ball slip a little bit more quickly towards the outfield.
Blake Baltz waiting on the first pitch from Ross, and he takes it for a called strike on the inside. That slider over the inner half against Baltz. And has put down a sac bunt tonight. He has flown out and grounded out. The only man in the lineup tonight for UCLA without a hit. 0-1, well outside, and the catcher, Penso, having a lunge out there. Slide along that left shin guard to grab it.
And he's been doing a pretty good job behind the plate. I mean, pass ball or two, but he's been in motion behind there all game.
1-1. That's low. 2 balls and a strike as UCLA tries to get back in the scoring column for the first time since that 5-run 4th. They lead 8-4 here in the top of the 6th.
While Ross, 5 batters, he's throwing less than half his pitches for strikes.
And the 2-1, Baltz taps it foul right at the plate. 2-2 the count. UCLA with 8 runs on 10 hits. They've left 6 aboard. UC Irvine with their 4 runs on 4 hits and 5 left on base. Approaching 10:30 on a Sunday evening in this regional final as Brennan falls back to first base. High pickoff throw there from Ross. And Martinez didn't even bother putting a tag down. Wasn't close.
Brennan does have good speed, but 2's all around, 2-2, 2 outs. Both middle infielders playing back.
No pitch. There goes Brennan from first. He will take second without a throw. And UC Irvine will let him have it as it's now 3-2. And Blake Baltz has a pair in scoring position. Cash Duggar on deck. Let's see how aggressive UC Irvine and Ross are here. The payoff pitch is grounded foul. Loud contact there from Baltz out in front.
And you feel both sides of this crowd getting into this. I mean, 3-2 count. Those are 2 huge insurance runs if UCLA can get it. So UCLA faithful wanting that to get in. But on the Irvine side, they want that strikeout right now by Ross.
Salgado is on third and Brennan on second for Baltz. Another 3-2 is a high chopper on the left side, seized up by Yeaman, rifles the throw to first in time, and that'll end the inning. 1 hit and 2 left for UCLA, and after 5.5, the score remains UCLA 8, UC Irvine 4.
It's time for you to be the DJ. Here's how it's going to work. I'm going to announce 2 songs, so we need you to get loud if you want to hear one of the songs, all right? Tonight's choices are Any Way You Want It by Journey,
What a day across college baseball. So many seeded teams going down or having to play winner-take-all games tomorrow. UCLA hoping to avoid that drama here tonight. A win puts them into the Supers. They would host UTSA next weekend. They've got an 8-4 lead as we head to the last of the 6th. And Alonso Reyes for UC Irvine takes a fastball for a strike from Cal Randall. That'll be Reyes, then Penso and Carney for UCI, bottom of the lineup. Randall comes back with another fastball down and in to even the count 1-1. And the hard-throwing right-hander able to operate out of the windup for the first time. Came on in relief of Chris Grotus in the 5th. Fastball just missing the inside corner, 2-1. UCLA led 8-0 after the top of the 4th inning, but UC Irvine has scored 2 runs in each of the last 2 innings. And there's a foul off to the left. Reyes has the count even on him, 2-2. The DH for UC Irvine is 0 for 2. The last time up, an RBI ground out in the 4th inning. Now Randall kicks and throws. Fastball is launched in the air to right field. That one is way back there and gone, and UC Irvine keeps on swinging. A leadoff home run for Alonso Reyes.
And that one was absolutely smoked off the bat. Now he got just all fastballs that at bat, and finally on that 2-2 count, got a fastball right down Main Street, and he hit this one over the batting facility and bounced into the darkness behind the stadium. So just like that, it's only a 3-run game, 5 hits on the game, 5 runs. This game got a lot more interesting.
Reyes homered in the game earlier this afternoon against Arizona State. One of 5 home runs that UC Irvine hit in that game. And he's got a leadoff homer here in the 6th as there is ball 1, an outside fastball to the catcher Blake Penso. And that UC Irvine contingent on the first base side growing louder as the fastball is on the outside for a called strike, 1-1. And gotta say, nervous energy among the UCLA faithful on the third base side.
They've gotten a little bit quiet.
1-1. Another fastball and a check swing foul. Back beyond home plate. Penso a walk and a strikeout. 5 runs on 5 hits now for UC Irvine. UCLA, all those free passes over the last couple of innings, aiding the Anteaters. That one just missing outside. Something off that one from Randall, perhaps a little changeup, 2-2. And now the righty kicks and throws, and a high fastball to run the count full. That one, an easy take, forcing Duggar out of the crouch. And with every pitch out of the zone, the fans from UC Irvine are loving it.
Yeah, they're back into this game. Still down 3, but feels like they're in front with how much momentum it feels like they have.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out, blew the fastball by him for the first out of the 6th inning.
And Cal Randall able to get back some of that momentum into the UCLA side of the stadium with a fastball, challenge fastball up in the middle of the plate, high 90s, and able to get that K, and that's a big one to get after that home run.
Well, UCLA pitching has had strikeout stuff tonight, 2 for Randall, and now 7 for the game. And the fastball just misses down around the knees against Carney for ball 1.
Close pitch.
Another fastball missing inside. And that one right around the zone as well, but it's 2-0.
Yeah, and that zone is definitely tightening up as the game's going on for both teams.
Another fastball, and that's across. 2-1. We've talked throughout the year about UCLA's knack for coming back. They've got 20 come from behind victories this year. As the 2-1 is grounded up the middle, Chalowski shaded that way. Around second, he's got it, and on the run throws out Carney for out number 2. So the defense scouted out well there to defend Carney, 2 away. But to finish the thought, UC Irvine, they have 17 come from behind victories this well. They're no stranger to doing that. And down 8, they have now drawn to within 3. Top of the lineup now with the bases clear and 2 out. Bermudez to hit. 4th time through the lineup now for UCI. Bermudez is 0 for 3. Fastball gets the call at the knees.
And in his second inning on the mound, Randall really still pumping that fastball in easily at 96 or thereabout it on that last pitch.
Fastball coming inside, and Bermudez turning away from it, 1-1. He leaned into a pitch earlier, was initially awarded first base, but upon review, ruled out. 2 strikeouts for the UCI second baseman. 1-1 fastball off the end of the bat, fouled. Rolling to the backstop softly, Randall in front, 1-2. Trying to get 3 consecutive outs after that big leadoff home run from Alonso Reyes. 8-5 UCLA in the 6th. Randall's pitch, down and in. Breaking ball, a rare one from Randall, and Bermudez able to lay off. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And that's 30 pitches now for Cal Randall. And only 2 or 3 breaking balls out of that.
2-2. That hit him. Now this time Bermudez has a clean hit by pitch, and he is aboard. And he said something as he took that ball. It's what he does. He gets hit by pitches. That's what UC Irvine does.
Yeah, and he's not even the best one on the team. Hit by pitch number 19 for Bermudez on this season. But right as he got hit there, he shouted something to either home plate umpire Brian Miller or to his dugout, just kind of exclaiming the fact that, hey, that was a clean hit by pitch that time. Got him right on the elbow guard.
And now UCLA will make a change. That's going to be it for Randall. And they're going to bring on a new pitcher. It looks like it is going to be Jack O'Connor coming on. Another right-hander out of the bullpen for UCLA. Chase Call is set to be the batter for UC Irvine. And Randall will exit. Randall lasting 1 1/3. Well, this is the benefit of UCLA having the bullpen fresh coming into this game, but this lead feeling perilous here in the last of the 6th inning. 1 on first and 2 outs, and call a guy who can certainly make this a 1-run game with 1 swing of the bat.
And they bring in O'Connor, who's been pretty great for the Bruins out of the bullpen, an ERA under 2 on the season. But the question here is that in spite of the fact that the Bruins have 8 runs on the board, it feels like this lead is still so perilous with just how relentless this Irvine offense is. And just to recap their scoring so far in this game, held scoreless through 3, then had 2 runs in the 4th, 2 runs in the 5th, and now 1 run in the 6th. And so with that, they've been showing increasing momentum here in the middle innings of trying to get back into this game, and they've got a chance here. But to your point, UCLA does have a lot of bullpen depth coming into this game, and Irvine's got to pull it out, certainly offensively, as they're starting to show. But from a pitching perspective, when UCLA's back on the back in the box, they're going to have to get it going as well.
And UC Irvine, they very much aided by the free passes of UCLA, even in that 4th inning. Now, Wyland Moss, his command failing him, giving up a walk, a hit batter, another walk. They still just had 2 hits after 4 innings, but were able to scratch a couple of runs across thanks to the free passes. Got a couple more of them in the 5th. So an 8-0 lead early for UCLA. And then you leave that door open and certainly help them get on through a little bit. And now O'Connor is done with his warm-up pitches. The junior right-hander who was unable to pitch over the last couple of seasons due to injury, finally healthy and has been outstanding. You mentioned the sub-2 ERA, 3-0 record, 16 strikeouts in 23 innings, and good news, only 6 walks so far. Chase Call has walked twice. And first pitch swinging, ground ball left side. Chalowski's got it, throws to second. Phoenix Call covering there. And the side retired on 1 pitch coming out of the break. So O'Connor hits exactly what he wants right away. UCLA gets back in the dugout. And we will go to the latter inning, see if this UCLA offense can get going again. 8-5, Bruins on top of the Anteaters.
Way too often, people are betting on sports, losing, and taking it out on the athletes. Only a loser would harass college athletes after losing a bet. But it happens almost every day. Root for your team. Get crazy when the buzzer sounds. But don't harass anyone because you lost a bet. It's time we draw the line and put an end to the abuse. Brought to you by the...
On to the 7th inning here in Los Angeles. UCLA leading UC Irvine 8-5. And as UCLA comes to the plate against that right-hander Jack Ross, it'll be once again Cash Duggar to lead off the inning. The 3rd time that he will do it. 8-9-1 in the order with Call and West to follow. UCLA stranding a pair in the 6th. In fact, UCLA has stranded base runners in each inning. They've left 8 men on board, still producing well. They got 10 hits tonight, hitting .435 as a team, 4 for 8 with runners in scoring position. But have to imagine feeling some pressure to answer the 5 unanswered runs by UC Irvine. There's a first pitch breaking ball down low for ball 1 from Ross. Duggar with an RBI single, a walk, and a ground out tonight. He's 1 for 2. And now ahead, 2 balls and no strikes. Change up there from Ross is outside, 2-0. No pitch. That catches the outside corner. Ross working quickly here as that fastball clips the zone. 2 balls and 1 strike. Infield straight up, outfield the opposite way against the left-handed hitting catcher. And Duggar is ahead 3-1. That pitch up and away. Ross right back into his motion. Fastball is across. Full count now. Boy, Ross gets the ball back from Penso and immediately has that glove in front of his face, waiting for Duggar to get back in the box. 3-2. Ground ball pulled to first right at Martinez. He'll take it to the bag himself. More weak contact off a Bruin bat. And Duggar is retired to lead off the top of the 7th inning.
And it feels like the last at least 5 batters for UCLA have not hit the ball in the air. A lot of weak contact to the right side of the infield. And you look at Ross on the mound, he's just standing there ready to go. Meanwhile, Phoenix Call not even in the batter's box yet, so he likes a quick pace.
Phoenix Call 1 for 2 with a walk. And there's a fastball, belt high on the outside for strike 1. You bring up all these balls on the ground. UCLA has not had a ball in play in the air since Brennan's sac fly in the 4th inning. And there's a one-hopper right at Yeaman, the shortstop, off the bat of Call, and he throws him out for 2 quick outs here in the 7th. That ball caught the lip of the grass right where it meets the dirt. Took a pretty nasty hop, but Yeaman still in perfect position to handle it.
Yeah, and that was arguably a better hit ball off the bat by Phoenix Call as the 9-hitter, but Yeaman, good play, good arm, 6-3 put out. But yet now top of the order for UCLA, and they're going to try and maybe get something going here with 2 outs.
Now, since that Brennan sac fly, all ground outs, a couple of strikeouts. As West gets hit on the foot. I believe it doesn't look like the plate umpire is awarding him first base, and now the umpires will come together. West thought he got hit on the foot, and plate umpire Brian Miller didn't think so. West had started taking off his protective gear. He tossed the bat, and he's looking back in Brian Miller's direction, waiting for him to award first. Now the umpires confer, and they say West did take it down around the foot, and he will be granted first base. And it did appear to hit his back foot right on the top of it. Ben Orloff is out of the dugout now, the UC Irvine head coach, and he wants an explanation.
And they're going to have a little bit of a conversation here between home plate umpire Brian Miller and Orloff, as you mentioned. And looks like they're going to actually head to the monitor to take a look at this one more time, at least from our view. That was an off-speed pitch in the dirt, Dean West in left-handed batter's box, and it looked like it hit his back foot. And just based upon the way the ball bounced, after that presumably hit West, it bounced over towards the Bruins dugout on the third base side. So a ball in the dirt typically wouldn't do that, but the question will be, as they look at it on the review, is did it actually tip his foot, or was it actually the deflection off of the catcher Blake Penso's glove that resulted in that ball moving over to the left?
Well, we got to look at the side replay. Clearly hit his back foot. Now, he didn't exactly try to get out of the way. He didn't put himself in position either, just stood right where he was and took it. And it is a 7th hit by pitch for Dean West in this regional. And looks like it should maintain a 2-out base runner here for UCLA and give Rock Chalowski a chance to hit, as UCLA leads 8-5 here in the top of the 7th with 2 away. And a pretty short review here, as Brian Miller is putting the headset down from Central Command. And here is the call, and he confirms it hit him and puts West on first base. So a challenge burned there by UC Irvine. A breaking ball just getting away from Ross. And it looks like West just knew that had a chance to get his foot immediately as it made its way home.
And he just stayed steady in the box. You referenced that 7th hit by pitch for Mr. West.
And he nearly gets picked off over there at first. An aggressive lead, and Ross immediately throws that way. West, along with Salgado, tied for the team lead in stolen bases with 12. And another check on him, and a great move. But again, West back safely with that right hand on the base. He's got it measured out well.
That's an A-level move from Ross on the mound. Got to keep him close. West is a threat to steal.
First pitch to Chalowski, jammed him, popped him up right near the mound. Who's going to take it? Coming from third, making the catch, Castanola, and that'll end the inning. Well, Chalowski has driven in a couple of runs on sac flies, but it's been a quiet and perhaps frustrating night for him at the plate. Unable to do much here. And once again, UCLA strands a runner aboard with 2 outs. Time to stretch here in LA. UCLA leading 8-5 over UC Irvine.
Leading off the bottom of the 7th for the Anteaters.
Last of the 7th in Los Angeles. It has been a day filled of college baseball across the nation. And we've got one of the final games of the day. UCLA leading UC Irvine 8-5. Heart of the order here for the Anteaters against Jack O'Connor, who darts in a slider for strike one against Jacob McCombs. Martinez and Yeaman to follow, 3, 4, and 5 in the Anteater order. O'Connor comes well high with the fastball, 1-1. There is one other game going on up in Corvallis. Oregon State well on its way to forcing a decisive Game 7 tomorrow against USC, leading 11-1 as they go to the 8th inning. That one is inside outed towards left, but West in good position makes the catch towards the gap. He was shaded that way, and McCombs is retired to begin the last of the 7th.
And only 4 pitches so far on the ledger for Jack O'Connor. Came into last inning, got that first pitch ground out, 3-pitch fly out here on a fastball on the inside part of the plate that was just inside outed.
So that brings up Martinez, who had that big 2 RBI double last time up in the 5th. And now he takes ball 1 here on the outside. That came off of Cal Randall, was the first batter that Randall faced. And Martinez, a guy known to pull the ball, was able to go the opposite way. 1-0 in there for a strike with a fastball.
Good job of getting back into the zone. Started off with the off speed, back to the fastball.
8-5, UCLA leading, last of the 7th. And O'Connor's pitch swung right through, a fastball over the outer half. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Nice little challenge pitch, got it by him. One thing to note, Phoenix Call, the second baseman, is in right field. The rest of the infield's pretty standard. Levu playing a little bit deep on the first base line.
O'Connor out of the stretches, 1-2, hit him. My goodness. Fastball just completely got away. Martinez hit by a pitch for the 2nd time. That's the 3rd hit batter by a UCLA pitcher. I don't know what it is about UC Irvine that gets this out of opposing teams, but it is everybody they face.
I mean, it just feels like one thing I've noticed is they're just close to the plate, so it just gives them that ability to cover the outside part of the plate, take balls the other way, but also induce a lot of hit by pitches.
So 1 on and 1 out for Yeaman. Right-handed hitter. Takes up and in. That one was close. 1 ball and no strikes. Yeaman, the 3rd straight Anteater to win the Big West Field Player of the Year. He had Caden Kendall back in 23, Miles Smith in 24, and now Yeaman this year. And there's a slider through the front door for a called strike, 1-1. UCLA pitching has issued 8 free passes tonight compared to just 5 hits for the Anteaters. They're within 3 here in the 7th. Fastball fouled into the screen. And once again, O'Connor gets himself in front, 1-2.
And a good job to work back to a 2-strike count. Now, in terms of pitch count for O'Connor, he only has 11. He's 7 for 11 in terms of strikes. We'll see how much of a leash he has, though, with 1 out.
Looks like August Souza is the next in line in the bullpen. Breaking ball, called strike 3 on the outside. Got him looking at the top of the zone for out number 2.
And a strikeout looking, and a really crucial one on Yeaman. That was a slider on the outside part of the plate. Cash Duggar behind the plate, able to stick the framing on the outside part of the plate, able to get that call from Brian Miller for the K.
It took him a beat, did Brian Miller, to make the call, but he did ring him up right at the belt, gets the call for out number 2, and that brings up Castanola. Martinez still over there at first, as there's a called strike. That slider on the outside part of the plate for strike one. Martinez, shallow lead over there at first, not a threat to steal, but he's being held on by Levu. Rest of the infield playing Castanola to pull. And he shoots it foul above the screen, or on the screen above that UC Irvine dugout on the first base side. And O'Connor does well to get himself in front once again, 0-2. UCLA fans beckoning O'Connor, who puts the fastball outside, and no chase from Castanola. That's fine on an 0-2 count, putting that one away.
Yeah, I mean, setup pitch. Slider on the outside part of the plate gives you the clearance to go back in.
1-2. O'Connor's pitch is fouled. Off to the right and well out of play. Castanola will see one more.
And that was just a good pitch. Went back to the outside part of the plate. Now Castanola in the right-handed batter's box, he is right up against the plate. So in terms of where O'Connor might feel comfortable with this next pitch, he might stay outside, preventing that hit by pitch from happening.
Castanola an RBI single tonight as part of a 1-for-3 effort with Martinez on first for him here. And he slices this one foul down the right field line into the corner. Another pitch towards the outside from Jack O'Connor.
So these at-bats getting a little bit more tense now. That hit by pitch on 4 pitches, then the strikeout looking on 4 pitches. This will be pitch number 6 of this at-bat to Castanola.
Outfield deep for UCLA. And O'Connor set, holding at the belt. His 1-2 is fouled again.
And he's sticking with that fastball here on 2 strikes. Had a couple of off-speed pitches earlier in the count, but he's really trying to put him away. With 1 and 2, he doesn't have to be in the zone. He's got at least a pitch he can play with and still have the advantage in the count.
3 consecutive foul balls here from Castanola. Another 1-2. Fastball right back at O'Connor up the middle for a base hit. Martinez advances to second. That was a screamer off the bat of Castanola. O'Connor did well just to get out of the way. 2 men aboard with 2 outs, and that will allow Reyes to hit, and last time up, launched one to right field for a solo home run.
And that home run was a big boy home run. Again, over the batting facility in right center field, really eclipsing the entire stadium. But yeah, you're right. That last single there by Castanola was a screamer up the middle. And now we're going to see John Savage come out of the Bruins dugout, and it looks like we're going to see a quick pitching change here.
That'll be it for Jack O'Connor, and UCLA will go to its bullpen here looking for the final out of the Back inside Jackie Robinson Stadium, where UCLA leads UC Irvine 8-5 in the regional final. We're in the last of the 7th. UC Irvine at the plate, first and second, 2 outs. Alonso Reyes, who has not only homered in this game, he homered in an elimination game against Arizona State earlier today, will be the batter against a new pitcher for UCLA. August Souza, the Santa Clara transfer, is on for the Bruins. He's their 5th pitcher used tonight. Last we saw of him was Friday against Fresno State. in a blowout win. He gave up a couple of solo home runs in late relief and is looking for the final out of the 7th inning here, protecting this 3-run UCLA lead. Righty on lefty matchup. Souza set, and his first pitch is high for ball 1. Souza making his 26th appearance this year, a .617 ERA, and 23 innings. He's got 20 strikeouts against 13 walks. Teams hitting .229 against him. 1-0 fastball outside. 2 balls and no strikes.
Now getting a little bit more tense now. Defense kind of playing standard, but Phoenix call playing in shallow right field at second base. They just need 1 more out.
2 balls and no strikes. Souza's pitch to Reyes. Misses the outside corner, 3-0.
And the crowd here not liking that on the UCLA side. Good velocity on that pitch, 93 miles per hour, but it looked maybe slightly away.
So 3-0, and Souza at risk of loading the bases now. And that is down low, ball 4. A walk on 4 pitches as Souza comes into the game. That puts the tying run aboard. And we will get a pinch hitter here for UC Irvine. Zach Doyle, a freshman, will hit for the catcho, it will be Penso, in fact, to hit. Penso will hit here. He has struck out twice and walked.
And now a mound visit. Cash Duggar, the catcher, Brock Chalowski, the shortstop, and of course, August Souza, the pitcher, having a little chat on the mound to talk about maybe how they want to hold that runner at second base. That's Castagnola, perhaps close. But again, 2 outs, bases loaded. They've got to force out at any base. And the outfield's playing deep, infield's playing standard. And we'll see if Souza can get 1 pitch to get out of this.
Reyes is being pinch run for at first base. Ryan Castro will run for him in that DH spot. 3 on, 2 outs, last of the 7th. Bruins up 3. Souza misses inside, ball 1. He has not found the zone yet since coming into the game.
And that's 5 in a row. And if you're Penso in the batter's box, take it again. Let him come to you with the strike.
Slightly open stance as he hits from the right side. Fastball in there. 1-1.
Sticking with the fastball, finally getting the zone on that one. Set up on the outside, and that pitch ended up on the inside slightly.
1 single and 2 free passes for UC Irvine to load the bases here in the 7th. 1-1. Slider on the inside corner. A called strike 2. And Penso, like so many on this UC Irvine team, most recently we saw it out of Castagnola. He is way up, crowding the plate, but Souza not deterred, coming inside. 1-2. A breath and the pitch. And a check swing on the pitch. A fastball down low. It's 2-2. He did not go.
Trying to get him to fish on that slider down in the dirt. Great stop behind the dish by Bruins catcher Cash Duggar. Remember, bases loaded. Tying run is on first base, so a lot riding on this moment for August Souza.
2 balls and 2 strikes against Penso. Holding set and throws. Fastball down and away. Full count and nowhere to put him.
And so now full count, 3-2, and 2 outs. Those runners will be in motion, meaning that runner at first, that's Ryan Castro, is going to get a good jump on a ball in the gap. Could possibly tie this game.
Full count. 3 on, 2 out in the 7th. The pitch. Called strike 3. Got him looking with a fastball at the top of the zone. And August Souza able to strand the bases loaded and keep this 3-run lead intact.
And just when you thought that Irvine got the advantage back, all that momentum coming back towards the third base line. Bruins faithful, they're upstanding, cheering on their team, and certainly Souza, as he came off the mound, was so pumped, pouting his chest and really feeling the energy in the stadium at that moment.
No runs, 1 hit, 3 left. We go to the 8th inning. UCLA 8, UC Irvine 5.
All right, fans, let's take a look at the scores around the horn again. A couple games have been decided. In Baton Rouge, they're to force a game 7 tomorrow night. LSU taking on Little Rock. Once again, game 7 in Baton Rouge. And Eugene, Arizona, advancing to the Supers, beating Cal Poly 14-0. One other game currently in action right now. Oregon State against USC. In the top of the ninth, Oregon State is up 13-1.
On to the 8th inning in Los Angeles, UCLA on top of UC Irvine 8-5 as this game has entered its 4th hour. We got started back at 8 o'clock. Think anyone is up on the East Coast keeping tabs on this game?
I mean, hey, it's a big game. I mean, obviously a lot riding on it, and certainly it would not be surprising, but hope you get your sleep tonight.
Levu leading things off against Jack Ross, and the fastball is outside for ball 1. UTSA knocking out the 2-seed Texas has opened the door for either of these two teams to host the Roadrunners in a super regional next weekend. 1-0 is down low, 2 balls and no strikes. UCLA can clinch it with a win here tonight. UC Irvine needs to win tonight and win a decisive game tomorrow. 2 balls and no strikes to Levu. Make it 3-0. Another pitch off the outside. Levu 1 for 4, but that one extremely impactful. A 3-run homer back in the 4th inning. Looking to get aboard here in the 8th. Taken all the way. The fastball is across from Jack Ross. 3 balls and a strike, and the right-hander has been good out of the bullpen for UCI. 2 scoreless so far. Working quickly, he deals, and Levu hits it high in the air down the left field line, and this will get out of play.
And that one almost tailed in back towards the field of play.
Castanola gave up on it, but I don't think he realized how close it actually was.
We saw a play earlier down the line when University of San Diego was here, and Adrian Beltre Jr. made a great play down that left field line on a ball that tailed right back in similarly.
3-2 to Levu. And he fouls it into the screen. He expanded the zone there. That looked to be up a little bit high for ball 4, but Levu not taking any chances.
Nah, he wants to swing it. I mean, look, tight game. He wants to make it a 4-run game.
3-2, 6th pitch of the at-bat is hit well to right field. Call turns and it goes off the wall, and he plays it on a carom so well. It's just a single for Levu, but the Bruins will take it. They have the leadoff man aboard for the first time since the 4th inning.
And they did it on a ball that was hit extremely well by Levu. Nighttime weather, 62 degrees right now at the stadium, and that ball was a 350-foot single off the right field wall. But to your point, Chase Call, the right fielder for the Anteaters, played that perfectly off the carom, able to keep Levu to just a single. And now, at least for now, it looks like Blake Penso, the catcher for the Anteaters, is going out to have a little talk with his pitcher, Jack Ross. And you mentioned Ross has been relatively effective. It's in spite of actually not throwing a ton of strikes. He's 6 for 10 on first pitch strikes, and he's just over the half mark in terms of how many strikes he's thrown out of his 37 pitches so far.
He had been getting a lot of weak contact, but that was the best contact UCLA has had probably since Levu hit the home run back in the 4th inning.
Yeah.
So the table is set here for the Bruins to try to extend their lead, but Roman Martin takes a slider for strike one. Activity in the bullpen for UC Irvine. Max Martin, a junior sidearm pitcher, is getting loose for the Anteaters. 0-1 to Martin, who is 1 for 3 today. And there's a ground ball to short. Yeaman to second for 1. Bermudez on to first, a double play. Second double play that the Bruins have hit into tonight. And so all that momentum wiped away in an instant. 2 gone here in the top of the 8th.
And not for lack of a hard hit ball by Roman Martin on that one, but right at Yeaman, the shortstop. So that was an easy 6-4-3 double play, turned quickly. And just like that, to your point, that Levu single, gone. 2 outs now. UCLA got to start something up again.
So A.J. Salgado at the plate. He's 1 for 3 and watches a fastball go outside for ball 1. Salgado walked last time up in the 6th. That was against Ross. Defense straight up. And that is in there. A slider on the inside for a called strike. 1-1. Got Salgado leaning a bit. 8-5, UCLA leading at the plate in the 8th. Far outside, 2-1. Bruins scoring all of their runs in the first 4 innings. Salgado bounces it to third, charged by Castanola, gloves it cleanly, throws out A.J. Salgado, and the Bruins go down here in the 8th inning with Ross having faced just the minimum. Got that leadoff single from Levu off the wall, but nothing doing. We will go to the last of the 8th with UCLA leading UC Irvine 8-5. UCLA leading UC Irvine 8-5 as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Bruins at one point led 8-zip, 5 unanswered runs for UC Irvine. Bruin offense has been quiet since that 5 spot in the 4th inning. Only 2 hits since then. They've been unable to add anything else, and they've watched UC Irvine score runs and put a ton of pressure on this UCLA pitching staff. August Souza up to the task in the 7th. He issued a walk to load the bases and then got out of it with a called 3rd strike. He's back out there for the 8th. 9-1-2 in the Irvine order, beginning with the left fielder, Frankie Carney. And there's a strike. Belt tie on the inner half to start the at-bat. Souza looking to have that command dialed in. He threw 10 pitches since coming in last inning. Only 3 of them found the zone. But now ahead 0-1 to Carney. And that's at the knees. Called strike 2.
And a good job of getting in front this time. Sticking with that fastball. Good way to start the inning. Just getting ahead.
Carney 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. Souza a breath. And the 0-2 bounced up the middle. Chalowski shaded that way from short, and the throw to first in time for out number 1.
And a big first out to prevent Irvine from getting that leadoff hitter on. Now they only have 6 hits in the game, but they do have 5 runs to show for it, courtesy of a significant amount of walks. They have 6 walks on the game. And so if you're August Souza on the mound, you're thinking to yourself, I just need to get 6 outs. And starting with the 3 here in the 8th.
6 walks and also 3 hit by pitches as well. Back to the top of the lineup, and Will Bermudez. And there's a fastball at the knees. Love these first pitch strikes from August Souza, 0-1. Bermudez 0 for 3, excuse me.
No, I was just going to say that it appears Easton Hawk is getting loose in the bullpen for the Bruins, possibly to take the 9th.
0-1, foul tip into the glove for strike 2, and Souza looking good so far here in the 8th with the Bruins leading 8-5. 5th pitcher that UCLA has used tonight, Wyland Moss going 3 1/3. And then it's been Grotus, Randall, and O'Connor. Now Souza. Breaking ball down and in for ball 1. Now against the left-handed hitting Bermudez, the switch hitter has been hitting from the left side all night long. Experienced guy for the Anteaters at the plate, a redshirt senior. And on the 1-2, he swings and misses for strike 3.
Went back to the fastball and got him to swing up and away. Those last couple of breaking balls were actually started middle and ended up on the inside part of the plate. So he said, all right, I'm going to go on the outside. Gets him to swing and miss. And that's a big second out, because now UCLA just has to get 1 more to get back in the dugout.
This is only the 2nd time that UCLA has retired the first 2 batters in an inning. Got to go back to the first inning when Moss struck out the side. That included a strikeout of Chase Call, who is at the plate. And Souza's first offering is a fastball low towards the outside for ball 1. Call 0 for 2, but he has drawn a couple of walks and come around to score. 8-5 UCLA, last of the 8th. And that's at the top of the zone. Called strike, 1-1. Got the slider there.
Yeah.
He was able to drop in.
Went back to a back door on the inside part of the plate, and Call is right up on the plate like many of these Anteater hitters.
1-1 pitch. Down low with the fastball. 2 balls and a strike.
And it looked like on that pitch, Souza flew open a little bit with that front shoulder, turned a little bit too quickly. So that pitch ended up down and away to Chase Call, a right-handed hitter.
A Call brother will be going to the Supers. Which one will it be? Called strike 2. Back to the slider. Coming off the inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Base is clear, 2 gone here in the 8th. Call ready at the dish. Souza's set. He kicks and throws. And spiked that fastball in front of the plate. Full count. Really rearing back there.
Yeah, he really wanted to get that one past the deadly Chase Call. But now a full count, 2 outs. Defense accounting for the pull. Phoenix Call, second baseman, playing behind second. Levu playing a little bit towards second base on the right side.
Payoff pitch from Souza on its way. And it's fouled into the screen. Fastball over the inner half. And Call right there on it.
So those first 2 outs of the inning, done on 7 pitches. This will be pitch number 7 coming up in this at-bat alone for Chase Call.
UC Irvine's all-time home run leader at the plate. One more, 3-2. And another foul straight to the backstop.
And he tried to go back to the breaking ball one more time, but once again, Chase Call right on it, fouling it straight back to the backstop.
Call was huge earlier today against Arizona State with a couple of home runs. Trying to help start a rally here in the 8th inning for the Eaters. Another pitch from Souza. Down low for ball 4.
And he tried to go back to that breaking ball with the full count, but a couple of swings by Chase Call on those last couple of pitches on that breaking ball, but this time didn't bite on the one in the dirt. So 2 outs, runner on first. Force out at first or second, but a deadly hitter coming up here, heart of the order.
It is Jacob McCombs as Call walks on the 8th pitch of the at-bat. And his 3rd walk of the evening. McCombs, meanwhile, is 1 for 4. And Souza will step off before throwing a pitch home. And again, UC Irvine is not a team that steals bases. Call just 1 for 2 all season. First pitch, missing inside, back to that slider. 1 ball and no strikes.
And behind the plate, Cash Duggar couldn't quite squeeze that. And especially for borderline pitches, you got to get that ball and frame it. You drop it, it's going to be hard to get that call.
8-5, UCLA leading. Trying to get the final out of the 8th. And there's a ground ball foul. 1-1 to McCombs.
Staying pretty soft here on those first 2 pitches. Breaking ball followed by a second breaking ball, which McCombs hit off the end of the bat right there. Phoenix called the second baseman playing towards the hole on the right side towards first base.
McCombs, the top hitter and slugger in this lineup. 1-1, fouled off to the left. And Souza ahead, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
But another good swing by this Irvine lineup. Again, foul ball, but they are right on the fastball.
This Irvine lineup is full of guys with good swings. 1-2. Souza's pitch is bounced and blocked. 2-2.
And a great block. That's on a slider. That lateral movement moving towards McCombs in the left-handed batter's box. So a good job by Duggar of getting that chest protector in front of it, locating the ball, and being close enough to it to prevent an advance by Chase Call at first base.
Lefty hitter at the dish. Righty thrower on the mound. Souza still looking home, comes set with only 4 on the pitch clock. He throws. Struck him out swinging. Put the slider down low. McCombs went chasing, and that'll end the 8th inning.
And he got it done on that pitch right there. I mean, look, 2-2 count, the slider, and you heard the crowd erupt there. They really want to get this dub, and look, they are 3 outs closer.
UC Irvine strands a 10th runner tonight. And we go to the 9th inning. UCLA will look to add some insurance. When we return, they lead UC Irvine 8-5. Top of the 9th inning here at Jackie Robinson Stadium in Los Angeles. As we inch closer to the midnight hour, 11:26 local time here in LA. UCLA leading UC Irvine 8-5. The Bruins are 3 outs away from advancing to the Super Regionals and hosting UTSA next weekend here at Jackie. First, they will look to add some insurance as they take what they hope will be their final swings of this ball game. Bruins will bring Peyton Brennan, Blake Baltz, and Cash Duggar to the plate here. And they will face a new pitcher, Max Martin, for UC Irvine, who has had a really good year for the Anteaters. His 27th appearance, a .338 earned run average in 37 innings, 38 strikeouts, just 8 walks. And he just pitched yesterday in an elimination game against Fresno State, went 2 scoreless. And he gets a swing and a foul tip into the glove out of Peyton Brennan for strike 1. And this is a different look for these Bruin batters than what they've seen so far tonight.
Yeah, he's a big guy, 6'5", but throws sidearm, so very different look.
And Brennan grounds one foul up the first base line. And the count quickly 0-2.
And so far, we've just seen fastballs from Martin. 2 fastballs, one on the outside, then this one that Brenton just dumped over to the right side of the field for foul.
Brennan 2 for 2. He's also got a walk and a sac fly tonight. And that is up and away. Another mid-90s fastball there from Max Martin. That sac fly from Brennan was the last run of the game for UCLA way back in the 4th inning. And Brennan sprays it in the air down the left field line towards foul ground, and it will land foul. 3 players converging. Castanola from third, Yeaman from short, Carney from left. But it lands foul, and Brennan will see another 1-2.
And a good effort down the line by especially Yeaman, Colin Yeaman, the shortstop. He did a little shoestring yippee-ki-yay type of slide there to try and nab that just a foot or so away.
So he's still, Yeaman, getting his way back to shortstop. And only now is Martin starting to get himself ready for the next pitch on the mound. Brennan measures out his space in the box. And here's the pitch. Fastball up and in, 2-2.
Very close pitch, and the Irvine side wanted that as a strike. Now the UCLA side jawing back in kind. So competition also happening in the crowd.
2 balls, 2 strikes. I didn't think that one was all that close personally. Brennan in the air to left field. Back Carney rounding off in front of the track. Still moving and makes the catch. That one dove away from him a little bit at the very end, but he tracks it down. That was another inside fastball, very similar to the previous pitch. This time Brennan swung away, out number 1.
Yeah, and he got a good piece of it. To your point, inside out at it. Perhaps got slightly under it in terms of launch angle and not really any carry, no wind moving really at all in the outfield at the moment.
That brings up Blake Baltz, who is 0 for 3 tonight. 1 gone here in the top of the 9th. Bruins leading 8-5. First pitch from Martin. Swing and a miss. Baltz right over top of it. Strike 1.
Yeah, and it looked like the first slider that we saw from Max Martin on the mound, and a pretty good one with that side arm release. A lot of horizontal movement on that pitch.
Next pitch is a ground ball right at shortstop. Yeaman's got it cleanly, and the throw is wide of first. Baltz will hold up there at first. He wanted to go to second, but Martinez was in his way. Penso, the catcher, got all the way over there to back up that throw. Baltz left standing here on first with 1 out on the throwing error by Yeaman.
And Yeaman, to your point, fielded it cleanly, but that throw was errant, a little bit high, a little bit to the left. And then as Baltz made that turn to try and head towards second, he actually ran into Martinez. That's the Irvine first baseman. And curiously, no real conversation about that, but it seems like Blake Paltz might have looked towards first base umpire to try and get some explanation there.
Ball one to Cash Duggar, down and away from Martin. Like Penso was doing his job, the catcher, and he backed up the play well. So Paltz wasn't going anywhere, whether Martinez was there or not.
Yeah.
Now bunt shown, and he takes a called strike there on the inside.
That tells you the hustle that you need as a catcher. Blake Penso, he's been doing a lot of work behind the plate, and that's like a 100-foot run at least. And he saved an extra 90 feet.
Check on Baltz, who falls back to first safely. First error of the game for either side, and it goes against a steady arm and a steady glove at short in Colin Yeaman. And UCLA with an opportunity for some insurance. High and away for ball two there on the fastball from Martin. 2 balls and a strike to Cash Duggar, who has been productive tonight, an RBI single and a walk. He is 1 for 3 in total. 2-1. Fouled right back to the screen. 2-2. 1 on and 1 out here in the top of the 9th. Every inch has been fought for tonight between these two ball clubs. And credit UC Irvine for their resiliency after falling behind. Duggar strikes out swinging. Over top of the slider from Martin for out number 2.
And he just went back to challenge with that fastball. In fact, all fastballs in that at-bat. Now the left-handed hitter for UCLA at the moment, Cash Duggar, had to swing over that one on the outside part of the plate. So it sets up a force out at first or second for Irvine. And just like UCLA, they want to get back into the dugout and try and make something happen in the 9th.
Here's Phoenix' call. And that's in there. Called strike. Called tonight is 1 for 3. Bruins still with just 2 hits since that 5-run 4th inning. They're hoping it's enough. 0-1 fastball outside. Count evens. Just looking ahead to the last of the 9th. Irvine will have Martinez, Yeaman, and Castanola due up 4, 5, and 6 in their order. 1-1. And Call grounds it softly on the right side. Charged by the second baseman Bermudez, and he throws a first in time for the final out here in the top of the 9th. A 3-run lead will have to be enough for UCLA. We go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Easton Hawk out of the bullpen, facing the middle of UC Irvine's order. When we return, it's UCLA 8, UC Irvine 5 in the LA Regional Final. Last of the 9th inning coming up. UCLA looking to shut the door on UC Irvine and book a spot in the Super Regionals. The Bruins in line to host UTSA next weekend if they can get it done. The Roadrunners knocking out the number 2 overall seed Texas in Austin earlier today to give UCLA that opportunity. The Bruins had an 8-0 lead after the top of the fourth tonight. UC Irvine has been threatening since that point. They have scored 5 unanswered runs. And now UCLA will go to its freshman closer. Easton Hawk has been in this role for the last month, and he's been very good in it. Finished off the game last night against Arizona State. Bruins had a 6-run lead then. This is a little bit different. This is a spot for the final 16 and hosting the Supers on the line here. Biggest spot of his young career, and he's about to deal with the middle of this UC Irvine lineup.
Yeah, it's a big moment for him, but certainly for UCLA, 3 outs away from advancing to a super regional. It will likely be hosted here in Los Angeles, and Easton Hawk, a big guy, has a heavy fastball in the mid-90s, couples it with a good slider. If you can get both of those two working, should be a pretty quick close here for Hawk and the Bruins.
5 saves on the season for Easton Hawk out of nearby Granada Hills. Anthony Martinez leads off the last of the ninth for UC Irvine, with the Bruins leading 8-5. Righty on lefty matchup to start. And the first pitch fastball right there for a called strike. Martinez has only been retired once. He's been hit by a pitch a couple of times and had a crucial 2 RBI double back in the 5th inning. Left-handed bat with power. And looks at a slider outside from Hawk, a ball and a strike. This game more than 3.5 hours long at this point. A delayed start at 8 p.m. locally, as Hawk has his fastball shot foul out of play. 1,070 the announced attendance tonight. Some have thinned out here on a Sunday night, but many still around. Looking to see UCLA book a spot in the Supers. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Hawk into his windup, delivers. And got him to pop up on the left side. Chalowski calls off Martin on the dirt, makes the catch, 1 away in the 9th inning.
And a big first out, preventing Irvine from getting a runner on to start the inning. 2 more outs to go. A good job by Easton Hawk on that first batter.
That'll bring up Colin Yeaman, who is 1 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts. UC Irvine needs a couple base runners, and there's a ground ball foul. Yanked towards the UCLA dugout on the third base side, 0-1. This is the final game of the day. 0-1 pitch. Fouled straight to the backstop, 0-2. That Oregon State USC game has gone final. The Trojans and the Beavers will play a Game 7 tomorrow in Corvallis. Now this is the last one here on Sunday. Of course, it's only Sunday here on the West Coast anymore. Hawk ahead 0-2 against Yeaman. He deals. And another foul. High over the screen and back beyond home plate.
Just 3 challenge fastballs. He's putting them right on the middle to the outside part of the plate. Hawk saying just try and hit it. So far, Yeaman has not been able to square one up.
Slightly open stance as he hits from the right side. And the pitch is another foul into the screen.
Went to the slider on that last pitch. So now he's seen basically what Hawk has to offer, that mid-90s fastball, and then the slider at around just below 90 miles per hour.
Still 0-2 to Yeaman. No pitch. Struck him out swinging. Ball in the dirt, picked up by Duggar. He tags out Yeaman for the strikeout. And UCLA is 1 out away from the Supers. And the Bruin fans on their feet here at Jackie Robinson Stadium. James Castanola representing the final out for UC Irvine. 8-5, UCLA leading here in the bottom of the ninth. Easton Hawk, the freshman closer, has retired the first two he has faced. Castanola, the right-handed hitter, 2 for 4 tonight, and he looks at a slider for strike one. All the Bruin fans on their feet. And the pitch, high and away with the fastball, 1-1. Defense slightly playing the right-handed hitter to pull. 1-1, a fan and a miss. Kind of a half swing there from Castanola. And it's 1-2. Easton Hawk looking for one more strike.
And just one more pitch, and he's got room here with 2 strikes to challenge him. One more to go, and a big strike.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs in the ninth. The pitch, struck him out swinging. UCLA is going to the Super Regionals for the first time in 6 years, and they will do so on their home field. Back-to-back strikeouts from the freshman Easton Hawk to finish it off. And UCLA defeats UC Irvine 8-5 for a clean sweep of the regional and a spot in the Supers against UTSA next weekend here at Jackie Robinson Stadium.
And how about that? They got it done. It took 38 runs over this weekend for UCLA, and a little bit of tension here at the tail end on Sunday against Irvine, who put up a good fight with those middle innings where they scored 5 runs. And UCLA, those bats got quiet towards the tail end, but hey, they were able to get it done. A lot of reasons for this victory, and it starts all the way back in the fall when they're working out and they're talking about where they want to be. And how about that? They found themselves in a super regional.
The UCLA team that finished 10th place in the Pac-12 last year, didn't even win 20 games, just picked up win number 45 here tonight, and are one of the final 16 teams left standing in the NCAA tournament. And they will get to stay here at home where they have been so good all season long and host UTSA next weekend with a spot to the College World Series on the line, a place they have not been since they won it all back in 2013.
And you got to think about one more time, we talked about how young this team is, but watching them play, there is so much poise on this roster. I mean, just think about who closed this game. Easton Hawk is a freshman. The starter, Wylan Moss, a freshman. And 3/4 of this roster are sophomores, underclassmen. And so they've got so much more growth, but just to see how good they are at this young of an age is super exciting. And they've got so much spunk